Hello and welcome to On The Esky. We got a big show planned as we usually do each week. Of course, we want to tackle what's been happening in the Olympics in the last week. A lot of athletics since we talked mostly about swimming in the last one. But we've got a few swimming notes to finish this off before we get stuck into all the other events that happened in the Olympics. Then the cricket news. Australia suck, India good at the moment.
It's one day in. let's be honest. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet. But the Indians off to a flyer against England.
Day two should have started a minute ago. So we're right at the start of the second day in that test. Then we're going to take a preview look, as we always do, for the NRL and AFL. Hopefully both leagues will go ahead this week. They should, but you know, the Go-Go's.
The Coco.
It's been a challenge.
Just won't quit, will it?
No,
just will not quit.
Not at all.
Can't shake it.
And with all the lockdowns, it doesn't help. And then we'll finish off with some American sports, NBA and NFL.
Huge day yesterday in the NBA. First day of the trade period, and
Yeah, and then NFL
players getting traded like hotcakes.
Yes, and then NFL's deep into training camp at the moment with first preseason games this weekend.
That snuck up so quick.
Actually, think first games it'll be Saturday for our time.
Yeah, right.
Actually, no, unless it's a Thursday. No, it'll be tomorrow.
Thursday,
I think the first one's Thursday, the Hall of Fame.
There's so much going on.
So it's Friday, so that's the first game will be tomorrow preseason.
Yeah.
And then we'll finish off with probably a little bit of F1 news and whatever else takes our fancy.
Yep. Very good.
Wrap up
Boys,
the final round.
Yes. Boys, do you want to give us a shout of beer? Who do you want to start with?
I'll start with Paddy Mills, Australia's greatest Olympic basketball player of all time. He's just netted himself a cool new deal with the Brooklyn Nets, 2 years, 12 mil, I believe. So he'll just be a bench sort of impact player there. We have spoken at length on this podcast about not liking the Nets, them trying to buy a ring, them being the Monstars, etc., etc., etc. And now Ballapat's there. All I can say is go Nets.
I'd be interesting amongst if you could find Paddy Mills' contract history, because I have a feeling every time Olympics rolls around, straight after that, he manages to snag a very good deal coming off it.
Well, he's sort of, this season especially, kind of been on the outer a little bit at San Antonio. He's 32 as well. Not ancient, but...
he's a role player
at this stage, which is a shame, because probably 2 years ago he was a out-and-out starter in the NBA. But always just switches it on for the Olympics. So, he goes over to Brooklyn, and he probably won't be a pivotal member of that stacked team.
He will wave the shit out of that towel as they run towards a championship next year.
Yeah, for sure. So, and Canberra's own, Marist College boy. So shout out to Ballappat getting that new contract with the Nets.
Max?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm keeping it within Olympics, within basketball. I'm going to shout a beer to Luis Scola. Captain for Argentina, played the Boomers last night. Unfortunately lost. 2
nights ago.
Semantics. 2 nights ago.
Semantics.
Wow.
Yeah. It all sort of blends into one, doesn't it?
Quick, especially when you're watching the Olympics every night. I suppose, we'll probably recap the full game, but towards the end of the fourth quarter, about 50 seconds left to go, he was subbed out, possibly for his last professional game, at the very least his last Olympics.
Definitely last Olympics, and you'd say, sure, he's 41.
Yeah, 41.
Oh,
yeah.
We're talking about Paddy getting along in the tooth, being 32. He's a spring chicken.
That's it. But at 41, he was captaining Argentina.
And good. And good. I think he was the highest point scorer for the tournament.
Yeah, he was.
And still, he looks fit for 41.
Definitely. So he got drafted 2002.
Nuts.
Second round pick. Played for the likes of Houston Rockets, Frank Kaminsky's Phoenix Suns.
Frank the Tank.
That's it.
Pacers,
few other
Raptors, Nets. Bit of a journeyman.
Bit of a journeyman.
Won a gold medal with Argentina, 04.
Or 04, yeah.
I think him and Ginobili played 4 Olympics together.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Absolute crazy. So, next beer's on me for a stellar career, and playing on what's next, I guess.
Emotional scenes at the end of that game, wasn't
really,
it?
Yeah. So the huge standing ovation from both teams.
Yeah, from the Boomers as well. Great show of respect to Scola there, and that's one of those moments where the empty stand, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? It would have been nice even if they had 25%
crowd.
something,
Yeah.
that could have clapped him off. But it
That's
is
it.
what it is. We've been watching it, the whole Olympics like that. So
Yeah.
that shouldn't take anything away from a stellar career from the Argentinian.
Definitely. Huge props, yeah. How about you, Sean?
So I wanted to shout out the Indian Olympic team.
The number one fan of the Indian Olympic team over here likes it more than our team.
Yeah. Well, they've picked up 3 bronzes since we last talked. One in badminton, one in the field hockey, and one in boxing.
Yep.
Won the field hockey today. The Australian men's game has just kicked off.
Yeah.
The final, with the Australian team in it against
Yep.
Belgium has just kicked off.
Gold medal match, that'll unfold
Yeah.
before our eyes here.
But-
Come on, you kookaburras.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though,
That's a
the
new
Indian
soundbite.
the Indian team sitting just outside the 50. I think there's 62 overall.
Yeah,
Really need a
your
gold
top
medal.
50's in big danger here. 'Cause I don't know where you're going to get this gold medal from.
No, I think they really need a gold medal because if they get one, that'll bump them up almost to 42 and they'll be automatic to finish in
Yeah.
the 50. So
Yeah.
that's what they really need
What
at
do we
this
do?
stage.
If they don't finish top 50, that's a skull next week, isn't it? Surely.
Well, yeah, I
surely.
guess so.
I'll get you a nice kingfisher, Indian beer.
Anyway, that's
But the girls play bronze medal game tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So
Yes, so pick another bronze.
never won a medal, the girls, I don't believe, for India in the hockey. The men's team was dominant. I was looking back over the history, not so much recently in the hockey, but sort of 1940s, 1950s, even into the 60s, were really good. They won 8 gold medals in field hockey. So, still looking for that elusive gold medal for poor India, but don't worry.
yeah. Chances are starting to get a bit low, but yeah.
That's all right. If Bermuda can get one, maybe India can. Shout out to any Indian listeners. We'd love it.
Anyway, speaking of Olympics, let's run through how we got to here.
Yeah.
And again, Australian bias, we will tackle a lot
Sure.
of what the
Have to.
great Australians have done.
Well, and it's been a great Olympics for Australia.
Yes.
We're on 17 gold at the
Equals.
time of this podcast, which is equal Athens. And so if we manage to get one, hopefully in the next 80 minutes, we'll see what happens in the hockey. That will be our outright best performance. There's still a lot happened. The Olympics moved so quick. So there was still
definitely.
3 days of swimming since we last spoke.
Yep.
And in that time, Emma McKeon and Kaylee McEwen and the girls just went bananas. So McKeon already had 2 gold. She added another 2 in the 50 and in the medley relay to become Australia's most decorated Olympian ever. So just this haul from Tokyo, 4 gold, 3 bronze. Add that to the gold, 2 silvers and a bronze she got in Rio, 11 gold medals. So that's the most by any Australian athlete, male or female, ever. And she's equal with Thorpe in the gold department with 5. And I think she's only 26, 3-year turnaround to Paris. She might get that, add a few more, hopefully, and become undoubtedly the Australian GOAT of Olympics.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Kaylee McEwen, marvellous debut for her. She's only 20. Had the big fuck yeah in her first interview. Sort of learnt from that. Didn't drop it to Channel 7. She should, maybe we'll get her on the podcast. She can swear as much as she wants.
That's our favourite slogan, I believe.
Fuck yeah. And then, oh shit, I swore. And even despite this awesome effort, the Yanks still pipped us in the pool. 11 gold medals to 9 gold medals. Caleb Dressel, 5 gold medals for the big Yank. And Katie Ledecky, 2 gold, 2 silver. She's quickly becoming one of the greatest female swimmers of all time. Yep. What about the rowing? So that finished up a little while ago. We did speak about it because it was last week that we won our 2 gold. What I'd missed was the Aussie boys team were doing the "it's better than Lego" when they were getting interviewed. And then it sort of became a bit of a thing, and then they thought, we'll get him on Sunrise, interview him. And I think it's Spencer Rutten, I think is his name. He was explaining, they're like, so what's the story behind the "it's better than Lego"? And I think he must be younger or about the age of even when it happened, 97 grand final. And he's explaining it to Natalie Barr on Sunrise. And she's like, yeah, I did the interview. She was actually there. And it's got it's better than Lego video, trending again. Fuck, that is one of the all-time. Like, just
One of the best interviews
like
ever.
Both brothers just absolutely off their chops, getting a 6 o'clock in the morning interview. It is that interview is better than Lego.
Yes.
And
John's brothers for you.
the Kiwis, our little brothers across the Dutch They're on 7 gold medals. They killed it in the rowing and also, I think, canoeing. They got the chicks rugby sevens. So 7 gold medals from a country of 4.8 million.
Yep.
How about we take a page out of those cheating pommy bastards book.
Yeah.
We combine with New Zealand. They actually did do this about 100 years ago. They had an Australasia team, I think, in 1908, 1912, go to the Olympics. We combine with New Zealand. We'll be third on the medal tally.
Yep.
If we set an Anzac team, only behind heavyweights China and America. So good to see the little brother across the Dutch. They're killing it too. What about the athletics? Your favourite part of the Olympics? Would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The 100-meter races for both men and women, like competitive, quick. Yeah.
Well, competitive this year.
Yes. Yeah.
For the last 3 Olympiads, not competitive at all. And it was
There was a certain bloke missing, but retired.
Kind of bittersweet to not have Bolt. Bitter in the fact that, Marcel Jacobs goes out and runs it in a pedestrian 9.8. Slow 9.8. Run a PB in that race. But also the super competitive side of it in that going into that final, you had no idea who was going to take it out. Yep. The markets fluctuated heaps. I think
there was going to be a new champion no matter what. So
I think the Yank Trayvon Burrell was the early favourite, didn't make the final, and then it was DeGrasse was the favourite going into the final. Marcel Jacobs was on a handy $4.50. I got around the Italian there. Won me a little bit of money. Better than I do on horse. I like betting on humans better than horses, I think. It's a bit of fun. And the great story for Australians was Rowan Browning. He ran his PB 10.01. He's only 23, so you'd imagine he's going to break the 10-second barrier. I think
he'll be there in Paris. Definitely.
Definitely. And he'll be probably in his prime. 26 for a sprinter.
Yeah, I think I read something saying that he'd been sprinting for a very short time. Like he kind of only just come to the sport recently.
Yeah, so. I wonder what he played growing up. He's an absolute lad.
Yeah.
See, we got it there. He said after his race, they said, what are you doing tonight? He said, I don't think there's an Asahi that's safe in Tokyo tonight. Fucking bad night to be an Asahi for Rowan Browning. He's got that flowing mullet. He seems like a bit of a larrikin. I sent you a video of him sculling a beer after a race before back in Australia. So, he works hard and plays hard. So we love to see that on the Esky, don't we?
So
definitely.
What are your thoughts on where do you think the fastest man in the world would have come in this Olympics? Being Gus Gould's call for Addo Carr.
Oh, the Fox.
The Fox. Fastest man in the planet.
He might have come like 6th in a heat.
I don't think he gets out of the heats, honestly.
No, of course not. He's a fucking league player. He's a league player. But they also, the way the Olympics works, they try to throw a bone to a few, lesser nations, and you see some of the guys like running in the heats. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you go down the athletics carnival somewhere here, pick out the fastest kids, so you go run for one of those countries. It's just sort of the way it works. Yeah. If they just went the fastest, 80 people or whoever on the planet get to go, you'd probably have about 20 people from Europe, and then everyone else American and Jamaican.
Yes.
So unofficial here, Rowan Browning has broken the 10-second mark.
Oh, has he really?
It was a
wind assisted.
Wind assisted,
It was in his trial.
So if it's over, is it over 2 meters per second? It doesn't count. Is that how it works?
Must be, yeah. So the wind assist.
Well, they say it's wind assisted.
Yeah, tailwind was 3.3 meters per second.
I'm fairly sure I haven't just made that up on the spot. I think it's 2. I think it's 2 meters per second. It won't be official.
No. Yeah. So he started off playing soccer, football, switched to rugby, and then in 2019, I think he's ran his first, professional race.
In 2019?
2019.
He's been sprinting for 2 years.
So what, a year out of when the Olympics was actually meant to start?
That is obscene.
So the late start, the extra year probably helped him a lot with the Olympics, getting into this.
I knew he was like pretty green, but I was thinking like maybe, he started when he was 16 or 17
I thought it was 2 years late.
Oh, sorry. I might have got that wrong. He has been competing since 2017 at national level, I think.
Yeah.
But his first professional.
But professionally in 2019. So he was an amateur since 17.
Yeah. 2019 became the 3rd fastest Australian of all time.
Yeah. He's quick.
That is mental. You guys know the fastest Australian of all time?
Oh, it's not Shervington.
Not Shervington?
No.
Patrick Johnson.
Yeah, that's right.
993. Yeah. Shout out to Bala pat, another bubble pat there.
The only reason I brought up Fat Fox is I just wanted to make all our Australian NRL listeners understand the significant difference between pseudo fastest man on the planet and where he'd actually come compared to.
You see all the photoshops that people photoshopping Addo Carr in front of Jacobs winning the 100 with a footy in his hand.
I've seen them Photoshop Sam Walker and he's running in the other direction. So
well done to whoever did that.
That was funny.
You see the high jump?
Yes.
So, like, Italy won 2 gold medals in track and field within about 2 minutes.
They were essentially on the ground together.
Well, he was on the just past the finish line. So
because that's where they were jumping. So.
Marcel Jacobs had won, was slowing down, and then went and gave each other a massive hug. What was our thoughts on the shared gold medal? There were in the comments. It's always very divisive. The comments. There's never a nice, nuanced, long. Both perspectives taken into account. It's either you're a fucking idiot and I'm right, or vice versa.
Pretty much.
There's a lot of people, a lot of females I noticed saying it's the best thing ever. It's the spirit of the Olympics, and then a lot of middle-aged blokes, mostly with vehicles as their profile picture. So this is the stupidest thing ever. They just should have had to jump off. Fucking Olympics is ruined.
Well, I think they were having a jump off. And they got to the point was we can't jump any higher.
And all 3 of them had failed.
Yeah. So they were just like, we might as well share it.
Massive high jump experts here.
Yeah.
I think everyone watching it was kind of scratching their heads. I think even they, when they asked them, they're like, okay, so you both failed at 3. And
do you want to keep going?
I think they go off a count back, but they must have had the exact same count back. Like they hadn't missed.
They cleared all of them up to that point. So, yeah.
What about the height?
Was it 2.39?
2.39.
Yeah.
3.7.
3.7, and it was 3.9 that they were attempting.
Yeah.
That is the height of a standard. In fact, in here it might be a touch shorter, but they'll literally jump over your standard ceiling.
Yes.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Shit.
They can. So
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, and what about Shaquille O'Neal is what 221 or something?
Yeah.
So Shaq could stand up and they would fly over him, like it wouldn't even be close.
Yeah. They'd have a good 20 centimetre gap between him and his head.
What the actual hell?
Yep.
Nuts.
My question is, why did they get the gold and not the silver?
They have to award a gold.
Have to award a gold.
Have to. So there was no silver awarded.
Yep.
So 2 golds and a bronze. It was the first time that it happened in the high jump for over 100 years.
Yeah.
So
Has it happened in other athletic events?
Yeah, well, like everyone else that watches the Olympics, becomes an expert for 2 weeks and then doesn't really follow for the next 4 years.
I'd say pole vaulting is probably the next closest one where it's a set kind of height.
That's right.
Because I'd say it'd be pretty hard, like javelin, discus, long jump, etc. Yeah, maybe you jump.
Well, what do they do?
Exact same thing. But
what do they do in the long jump at centimeters?
Yeah.
Do they go? Do they break down from? Do you go to?
It probably never becomes a.
Do you go to mill?
It probably never becomes a problem. Because they always have that separation. I don't think everyone's jumped like exact.
It should be
that's an absolute challenge.
Has anyone ever shared the long jump medal? And I think with the timing now as well for sprinting, I reckon back in the day they would have had a few dead heats, handed out a few, but now they'll go to 1,000th of a second. So 2 blokes might run at 9.80, but they'll literally go down 2 more decimal places.
Well, isn't that why they use the rope as the ending for quite a long time? Because whoever pushed it out first would be your winner. Yeah. So,
we could send a man to the moon, but we couldn't fucking have accurate timing.
No.
Makes you wonder about that. Yes. But that's another kettle of fish.
That's a terrible javelin throw, that one.
Oh, sitting here.
It was
Man,
that's for us, for the average dude Olympics, yes, that was amazing. But for the Olympics, I think he's about 20 metres short of everyone else.
Well, it is also the decathlon. It's pretty amazing that they're...
True.
But 51 metres.
Yeah.
What a slob. Says 3 boys that probably couldn't throw a cricket ball.
Yeah. Not with my shoulders anymore, no way.
That's, the injuries. I would have gone if it wasn't for the injuries. I would have been there, mate. It was just this knee, but I would have been playing Aussie rules if it wasn't for this knee, I tell you what.
Never has there been a shared medal in the long jump.
There you go. And you know what's whack about the long jump? World records, or the Olympic records like from the 1968 or something. Mm-hmm. One of those ones where we just haven't progressed. I say we as,
Human race.
Humanity.
I knew where you're going with that. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Wonder how the kangaroos are going if they're getting better in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
You'd imagine so.
So, the Olympic record, 8.9 metres back in 1968.
Boom. Off the top of the dome here, bro.
Yeah.
And their world record's like 30 years old in that as well, I'm pretty sure.
I think I'd actually say it's probably because there is an angle of like the perfect jump that comes in long jump. As in, if you put your foot down right where it's not disqualification, like you got millimeters versus
a toe hanger, they call it.
Yeah, versus if you'd put your foot down 10 centimeters, you're losing yourself 10 centimeters. So,
you reckon that's what it's come down to?
Well, I said the super you're the perfect jump where obviously it's rare where you hit that right where you want it, and plus get all the extra distance you want. That putting that all together is a rare occurrence versus
in 50 years.
Yeah, versus the consistency of like an 8.5 or an 8.6, where they can do that. To get to that length of 8.9 is just where everything's got to align to be like an absolute perfect jump. Is what I'm getting at.
Interesting theory.
Versus
were you watching the long jump?
Yeah, I did watch some of them.
They have those They have toe hangers all the time where it's it's a few mil.
Yeah, but to go with that and then the actual like good jump as well. So to get all that to align is what I'm getting at. So you might have an excellent jump, but if you're 10 centimeters short, you're still 10 centimeters short. That's what I'm trying to.
Interesting theory. Interesting theory. You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
You know what Marcel Jacobs used to do?
What?
Long jump.
Oh, then they all go into the sprint races.
I think a lot of the premier long jumpers would also make excellent 100-meter runners or 200-meter runners, and I think I think a lot of the guys go into the
track.
Yeah. That would be my theory.
That was going to be my second point. It's like, a lot of these guys probably train to track, and that's where they go.
Where do we get to? The Jamaicans. The chicks, 1, 2, 3 in the 100, and what's her name? Thompson Hurrah. She backed up the 200, so I think it became the first woman ever to defend because she did that in Rio. Yeah,
it was also the first final in a 100-meter race where they had two defending Olympic champions in it. Because the other, I forgot her name, the other Olympic Jamaican bird won at the...
Shirley...
Not the last Olympics, but the one before that.
We should look this up because they're two double-barreled. Can you look up women's 100 metres? You got it there.
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
There we go. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
Yes.
She had won it in London.
Yes.
And Elaine Thompson-Hurrah had won it in Rio and backed it up. Yeah. So you'd imagine if they don't drop the baton, they win the relay by maybe the length of Jamaica. Yeah. It's not that big a country. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe just from like Kingston to Montego Bay.
Yeah. Well, I think they're talking world record. Maybe. The world record's in trouble. That's what they're aiming for.
Imagine. So. We were looking at that before, weren't we? 7 of the top 10 times ever run in the women's 4x100 relay, Jamaicans.
Yep. They fast.
So to break the world record, they have to beat 40.
That was the men's.
The
men's was 7. Yes.
Yeah, we couldn't find the women's one.
Well, we've got the world record, don't we?
Yep. So London Olympics. Olympics. Yep. 40.82 seconds.
Then that was the Yanks.
Yep, that was the Yanks.
Speaking of it, the Yanks fucked up in the 4x100 for the men today. One really poor changeover hurt them a lot, but then that bloke running the last leg, he just got mowed down.
Yeah, just couldn't finish it off.
Yeah. And this will blow your mind. The United States has not won the gold medal for the 4x100 men's relay since Sydney 2000. Wild.
Yeah.
Crazy. Considering how many excellent guys they've had running in those events. Yeah.
What was the 17-year-old kid's name? Do you remember?
Not off the top of my head.
400 metres. No, sorry, 200 metres.
And he did...
He's a 6'3" American who is 17 years of age, and he ran 4th.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind finding that one for us.
I've got that is...
Arian Knighton?
Knighton?
Arian Knighton.
Knighton.
Knighton. Keep an eye on Arian Knighton. He'll be 20 when Paris rolls around, and if you're running that quick when you're 17 years of age, you can't imagine you mature as a sprinter until at least your early or mid-20s.
Yeah, that's the chat that he put on some of that muscle mass in the legs. And
he's real lean. He's like 6'3", but like 170. Yeah.
Whether he'll, because I think he 200 was his pet event where he goes to the 100 and maybe pushes some of these guys.
For sure.
Maybe, I don't want to put it on him then to
I'm
compete.
sure he's listening.
Yeah, to compete against Bolt's record, but
Very early days, and he'll have a lot of pressure on him.
The 9.5's the barrier, but
9.5.
I don't think anyone's ever gone under that in a very, very long time.
Well, that's a question I wanted to ask you. Do we see Usain Bolt's record getting broken anytime in the near future?
In our lifetimes? Shit.
Well,
who knows?
In our lifetime, yeah. I was near future 5-10 years.
But by the time the Brisbane Olympics rolls around, probably not.
Yeah.
So in the next 10 years.
This might be one of those long jump records that we're talking about
it probably
for
depends.
40 years. Like, no, a generational kind of record.
Again, it might depend on how the track's laid out. They've talked about Tokyo being a bouncy kind of track for them to run on, so it feels great to run on. The evolution of some of the shooter technology, what they allow them to run with.
The evolution of human, like all the sports science that goes into it. You got a nutritionist, a sports psychologist. All the strength and conditioning just keeps getting better and better and better. Yeah. You need that plus a once in generation
talent,
genetic talent.
Yeah. Because they talk about we've mentioned there's the super shoes and this track. If Bolt had run and this not like in his prime, not his current age, if he
ran that run.
Yeah, does he run
Tokyo.
under a 9.5? Like that's kind of the chat, which is obscene.
To think about it, isn't it?
That's like a 10-meter lead on the winner of this race.
Oh yeah,
of the 100-meter.
Not quite. Yeah, not quite.
Yeah,
9.8 to 9.5. It's like a 3 or 4 meter lead, but that's a lot in a 100-meter run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to think that he didn't even try in some of like he literally pulled up in some of those world records. Unbelievable. What about the Spag Bowl? Peter Bowl. Mm-hmm. Put your Spag Bowl out for Peter Bowl. Yeah. So close. Just that closing speed of the Kenyans got him pipped. But
I think he might have gone out a little bit too early. He did lead
the whole. That's the way he runs apparently. Yeah.
But he did. I think he had to push. They pushed him a lot harder being out front.
Yeah,
which may have
got
run
to
harder.
be the one that sets the pace.
Because he ran a 1.44, I think, in the heats, and I think he ran like a 1.46 or 1.47 in the final. So he
might need to get a stat check.
He was
3 seconds.
Yeah, he was slower in the final than he was in his heat.
By that much?
Yes. Yeah.
Really testing you tonight.
That's it. Which one was it?
800 meters.
That's right.
Yeah. Just his heat. A semi-final time to the final time.
Yep. Yeah. So that's why everyone was kind of thinking he's a medal chance because he ran a really, really good final. That was an excellent final. But I think it wouldn't surprise. Kind of, they were pushing him out in the front and they wore him out. Like as you could see, it wore him out, and then the Kennan boys just took over and ran a really good time.
So he ran a 1.47 in his heat, and then a 1.459.
So he ran a second and a bit quicker.
Yeah. What did he run in the final?
That's why we got the best in the business. That was it.
That was it. I thought sorry.
Yeah. Lucky we got a fact checker here. Would have loved you for Frank Kaminsky a few weeks ago.
I did pull you up like 2 hours ago.
After I made a proper dick of myself already.
He ran 3 races. What was his time across the 3 races?
He ran his fastest time in the final, dude. It's confirmed. You got it in front of you there. Because he ran a second quicker.
He was a heat.
Sorry, so heat 2.
Yeah,
I got you.
I
got you.
I've gone. Check the fact checker. What a shit show.
I've just gone the last heat to get into the final. So heat 2 was a 1.441.
Yes. Was that a heat or was that the semi?
Heat.
Yeah.
So he ran his fastest time was in his heat.
Heat. Yeah. He won a 1.44. So
that was one of the semi-final heats.
Yeah.
This is confusing.
So I was right. Semi-final was 1.44.
Yeah. 1.44.
What did he run in the final?
1.45.9. So 1.7 seconds slower in the final. Well done,
so
Sean. I think you should probably score for that, not me.
Probably.
I don't have it in front of
me. So if he had ran that time in the final, he would have won the gold medal.
That's my point.
Nuts.
There you go.
Well,
that's why I think they pushed him a lot harder out front, wore him out a lot, and then the guys came through and they won.
Oh, mind you, the Kenyan in Heat 3, if he had run his time, he would have won the gold medal. So.
Yeah, true.
So they went out slow in the final.
Yeah, I think they went out a bit harder in that, and then they were all struggling in that last 50, just trying to make it to the end there. That's I think that 400 and 800 are one of those kind of weird events where you have to run an excellent pace, and then the last 100 meters is absolute struggle because you've given everything to that point to finish it off.
A lot of
I reckon 800.
medium to long distance.
Yeah.
races.
I reckon
You see that a lot.
800 has to be the most fuck distance.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
You look at the times that they're running in those splits, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And 400 is probably up there too. But yeah.
Yeah, they're the two for me. Like as Mark said, the middle range kind of distance is it's not a long distance. You know, where it's more cardio and say some strategy and placing yourself or running really really fast. You got to do both.
Even though
It's just crazy.
Well, I was watching the 5 and 10.
you seen the last laps?
Yeah, it's insane.
Just-
They go,
They just have it sitting in fourth gear and then they just go.
mind you, fourth gear running like 2.5 minute Ks.
Yeah.
but then it just
And then
out
they hit
of
that
nowhere that
800 meters again, 400, 800 meter mark,
unbelievable.
and they just turn
That-
into
and after running like 9.6 Ks at that speed, unbelievable.
it's insane. Yeah,
That's a couple of little things in the athletics to finish up before we get into some other sports. Carsten Warholm, the Norwegian, broke his own world record in the 400 hurdles. The time that he ran, no Aussie has run the 400 this year that fast
with no hurdles.
with no hurdles.
no hurdles. Yeah,
No hurdles. So he could make an own. He could literally put hurdles in front of him and race against Australia's best 400 meter runners and beat them with hurdles.
Yeah.
yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Red and crazy fast. And almost took a whole second off his own world record and first time under 46 seconds for the hurdle.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Mental.
crazy event.
The Aussie bloke, I think, might have been the 100 meter hurdles, hit every hurdle.
Yeah, he's like a pretty solid looking
Yeah.
fella, and
He just missed the first one and then was out of rhythm and just hit almost all of them on the way
he
down.
made the semi, and he was saying he finished third in that race where he hit every hurdle and went through, and he's like, that's just my style. He doesn't really clear him that much. He's kind of like a big bodied hurdler, and that Stefan Hassan from the Netherlands fell. And still won the 1500 and fell on the last lap. Didn't fall early, fell and then caught him within 400 meters. I don't think that was the final. I think that was in the heat. Heat. But then went on to win the 1500, and she's going for the 5 and the 10, trying to get the triple, which has never been done before.
Crazy.
So gymnastics.
Yeah, so well, Simone Biles went out and got a bronze medal in the beam. Highly publicised last week. We won't get stuck into that too much. The thing that caught my eye, it's always, she's the GOAT. You know, Twitter made the GOAT handle for her, or the GOAT emoji, I should say. And me, obviously, massive women's gymnastics expert here.
Really?
He's down there every weekend doing gymnastics. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I might given recent events. I'm going to leave the joke that I was thinking of.
Let that through the
We're
keeper.
going to let that one go through the keeper. That one was probably bouncing over the keeper's head. No one was saving that. So she's the GOAT. She's the GOAT according to the American media.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Larissa Latner?
No, Peps. No, I have not.
1956, 1960, 1964. 1960 gymnastics, by the way, held in the ancient ruins, the bars of Caracalla. Very interesting bit of research I did there. But she actually won 9 gold, 5 silver, 4 bronze, 18 medals. And Simone at the Olympics is on like a measly 7. But I think if you take into the world champs into account, she's won 19 gold medals at the world champs. So I'm just saying, it's not clear cut. The American leader, the Cold War finished 30 years ago, and they still can't give any props to the drug trading Ruskies. They watched Icarus, they go, every single one of them has been on drugs. They're all fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's not quite a Don Bradman GOAT label. It's more like your Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Frank Kaminsky kind of relationship.
Yes. Yeah. Different generations, different eras.
And that's a nice segue into the basketball.
I just want to say, speaking about the Dirty Ruskies or the Rock, they did take us over today, and then we retook them back over in the gold medals. So
we've got to get our friends across the ditch in, and we can beat the drug cheating Russians.
Yes,
they're not even a country, man. It's an Olympic committee.
So Great Britain overtook them as well. So the Rock are sitting at 15 gold at the moment. Great Britain's at 16. Us Aussies are at 17.
Hold off the Poms, boys.
Hold off.
Hold
and
off.
then we've got Japan at third with 21.
Yeah.
Yep. Then US 27.
Great games for them.
And China taking
So
the
it
lead
looks like
at
China's got an
33.
insurmountable lead. I thought when the Athletics rolled around that the US were really going to steamroll home, but they
Close
haven't
the gap.
really dominated the
the-
track and field that much.
Drop the
And,
baton.
Well,
yeah, I'll pay it. They had a poor changeover. And China just keeps, like, they've been cleaning up in their gymnastics, diving's still going, they've been cleaning up in that. Table tennis finals have been
all
going
the
on.
diving finals are coming up, so yeah, there's more medals in that.
basketball?
What-
So leading the basketball?
Yeah, we already spoke a bit about that Argentina Australia game. Disappointing today for the Boomers, the semi-final against the US team. They really were in it and held a lead, going into half time, and then the Americans just went on I think there was a 25-4 run, I think, in the fourth quarter, just steam homed.
Well, the smashes in the third quarter, yeah.
Back into the third,
Yeah.
start of the fourth, and anyways, we'll be playing for a bronze medal, but that would be, we've never won the bronze.
We haven't won a medal for basketball, so if
Yeah.
we can win a medal, that'd be an excellent start.
The thing is, I think we've had like 3 or 4 fourths, so I'm really hoping.
Yeah. Well, if we get Slovenia, I will.
Who do you rather, France or Slovenia? France a better team side, but Slovenia obviously have
That's Luka.
have a baby goat in Luka Doncic, and shutting him down's been proved pretty difficult.
Yes.
So I guess you'd rather play Slovenia than
You'd rather,
France.
but-
yeah, but yeah,
Luka's got a Luka.
both going to be very difficult prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we'll talk about that next podcast. Oh, one thing from that Argentina game, Facundo Campazzo, grub. Absolute grub. From your Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that he's been at altitude too long. He's lost.
Well, altitude sickness.
Yeah, he's lost some of his frontal cortex that controls his impulses. He was going around slapping blokes in he should have got a fragrant foul. There's one where he just went up and didn't even play at the ball, just slapped one of the Aussie boys in the face, and he was lippy, talking shit. Grub.
Yep.
You heard me, Campazzo. I'm sure you're listening. We spoke about the soccer. Yeah, we already covered that. We're watching it.
No, we're watching it.
We're watching it.
We haven't
Watching
covered it yet. Yeah.
Tilda's bow out. 4-3. They went down to the US women's national team just moments before the show started, and really they could have been playing for a gold medal. They had that disgusting call, I thought, on that Sam Kerr goal.
Yeah.
They got called back for a blocking sort of foul. There was no blocking. She held her ground. It opened the space for Sam Kerr, but that's a tactical thing to do from set pieces. It's not rugby league where you've got so strict rules on an obstruction.
Was there consideration for offside in that? Because they were offside.
Nah.
Because it doesn't. Yeah.
No,
It was purely just blocking. Yeah.
just blocking. Kerr ran onto her. She was meters on side.
Yeah,
And
where the
finish-
guys were blocking as well also was about 10 to 15 metres away from where the actual play comes into it. Lining up where Sam Kerr comes.
might be asking you heaps if to try and get that up. But from remembering watching the one or two replays that they showed and then they got on with their game, I think Kerr may have started sort of towards there and it may have opened up some of the... It may have created some of the space.
From memory, she comes across far right into the penalty box, and the blocking player was actually more over here.
Right.
So more towards the left of what was the wall at the time.
We can all agree, garbage call. Garbage call.
Yeah.
Excellent finish from Kerr to get the ball in from the right side on your right foot and then have to put it left across your body and put it in. Yeah. Great finish from her. And then we've only got ourselves to blame, really. The Matildas that had all the ball in the second half had all the scoring opportunities and just couldn't find the back of the onion bag, really. But
so they had
so
these
what do
two.
we got here? What did the tweet say there? Always amused when a team puts players in an offside position, specifically to block players challenging for the ball.
Yeah, because they were offside as well from the play.
So those two girls there line up offside.
Yeah, so then Kerr comes in towards
Kerr's
the ball.
top of the D there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just play it, or is that the it's just
I
the
think
photo?
it's just the photo.
Yeah. So she.
Sorry.
So
Well, that's not contact with the ball. Where are those girls? Where are those girls? Michael Cox, mate, your screenshot's fucked. Fix it up.
so
Cox by name, Cox by nature.
yeah, not sure if we can find. But if Monk's if you put your mouse, move it across, keep going across, down a little bit.
Scintillating
Too
listening
far.
this is, boys. Scintillating listening.
I was just trying to point out, like, Sam Kerr comes down from where Monkey has his mouse at the moment. Like,
so she fills in this gap.
Yeah, she comes
Correct.
across the right, so
it's
she doesn't even run towards where the block
It
is.
actually hasn't created any of the space for her.
Not for her at all, no.
But
She comes across, like, towards the ball to put it in.
we get any footage of this? Fucking Olympics, man.
So, again, that's her coming across.
So that's contact. Those girls aren't offside there. They lined up in an offside position, but at contact with the ball, at Michael Cox, you fucking moron. They're not offside there. No, actually, look, there's
that one Aussie
foot.
Very
maybe.
close.
Oh,
that
it's
one
very,
foot.
very close.
Yeah.
But they didn't call it for offside. They called it for blocking.
Yeah. But then when Sam Kerr hits it, there's Michael Cox again. When Sam Kerr hits it,
Michael, who are you?
she comes across over this way. So, yeah.
He's got a tick next to his
Athletics.
name. He must be a big show.
Yeah.
Michael Cox with a tick.
It seems like some sort of reporter. Anyway. Yeah.
Well,
When I saw it live, I thought it looked good.
And at the end of the day, that was, 30 minutes into the game.
And then Sweden did score again. So.
And they let in a really sloppy goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what's not sloppy, and that's going to lead us into this last little segment for the Olympics.
I was wondering where this is going. Soccer. We're talking. You got to finish the Canadian song before you get it. I hated your segue.
Well, it's a great segue because the girl that scored the goal was Fridolina Rolfo, who features on my list.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about my list, if that's okay. Canada plays Sweden in the final. Christine Sinclair has
The
303
views of Anthony
international
Fazula do
caps.
not represent the rest of On The Esky.
This is my list that I put together. I'm sure you might have different orders. Maybe some would drop in, some would drop out. But I don't think you're gonna kick any of these women out when you have a look. I've put together by popular demand in the groupie the top 10 fittest chicks that competed at the Tokyo Olympics. And if we've got any female listeners at the moment or gay listeners, get at me. And I will put together my top 10 hottest blokes for next episode because I can appreciate the male body, especially like a Caleb Dressel. Whew, Adonis.
We just have to do it.
Adonis. But this week I've put together the top 10 sexiest chicks from the Olympics. Arina Sabalenka, the Belarusian tennis player. I've spoken about her before. She's 6'2". She's got broad shoulders. She comes in at number 10. Alex Walsh, American swimmer, 19-year-old. Get it? She's pretty good looking. She's coming in at 19. Keeping it with America, the sprinter Gabby Thomas. She won bronze in the 200 meters. African American sprinter, very very good looking. Number 7, Kaylee McEwen. Our girl. She drops a fuck yeah. Wears the glasses on the podium. Some blokes are into that. Where are we up to? Number 5. Numbers 10. I should have put the numbers 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 6.
That's 6.
Amelie Lule from Norway, track athlete, very good looking. Number 5, Pernille Bloom, Danish swimmer, got the bronze medal in the 50 metres. And yeah, married to a tank of a French swimmer. Number 4, Australia's own, and this is a mouthful here, but I'll see how we go. Mary Faye Artacho de Sola. I think they play. They play tonight.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow in the women's beach volleyball.
Knocked out the World Championship
Did they?
finalists, I think, or
that
winners from last one.
They beat Canada the night before last.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they played.
Which was the semi?
Today. Yeah.
Or yesterday was a semi.
Whoever
they're
were
in the gold medal. They're in the gold medal.
was a
match.
former
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
So good on you, Maria Faye, Peruvian born, been in Australia for quite some time, so we'll definitely claim her. And then the top 3, world famous, 4.5 million followers on Instagram. She won't need the hundreds of thousands of extra followers that this plug will get her. Letitia Buffoni, Brazilian skateboarder, missed out on the medals. The Brazilian girl that won it was 13. She got the silver, was 13, and the winner was very young as well. That lady, Fridolina Rolfo, the Swedish striker, she comes in at number 2. Could be a striker for Sweden, could be a model for sure. And speaking of someone that is a legit model, probably not as good as an athlete, but Alicia Smith, she's got a massive following, as it is Germany track star. What are you slipping me here? You reckon I missed someone here, Monks?
I reckon you might have missed someone.
Well, You guys can compile your list for next time. Licky Klaver, Dutch sprinter.
Yeah, we're just watching the
4x400.
the Netherlands team go around. So
Maybe I might need to put together a best team because that Dutch 4x400 team is very, very good. Anyways, that's my top 10. Might have to, maybe we'll get an Instagram post or something. You know, that we might actually get a few follows from that. Might be better than listening to us dribble.
That's it. And next week we'll have the top 10 men.
I'm happy to do it.
We're going to do it.
We just need to hear some interest from our listening base.
yeah, gotta get some big rings out of it.
Yeah, make it worth my time. That'll wrap up our Olympics chat.
Just looks like Belgium actually has scored in
Actually, yeah.
They have.
Hockey game.
Playing at the moment. Yep.
Kookaburras, bro.
Kookaburras.
Hockey Roos got knocked out by India.
Yep. You're right with that.
It's 1-0.
Yeah, they just scored.
Belgium start. There's still a lot of time left. Let's go, boys.
Let's go. All right, cricket.
Can you bring up the score?
You might actually want to put some cricket on too, please.
Yeah,
the game
we should be away.
Yeah, the game should be well into the first session.
Yep.
Yes, and get teams or scorecards. Yeah, so we get teams.
Would be fine.
That'd be fun.
So England skittled at home for 183, and we've spoken about it before on the podcast. I'm sure thousands of people around the world have spoken about it. England's top order is garbage.
Yep.
It is garbage. They all struggled. I was looking up the averages before. I think of their top three, Rory Burns has the best average at a scintillating 32.5.
Got a duck.
He got a quacker. And then Sibley's averaging 30 and Zach Crawley's averaging 29. Top three, and it's not like they're a couple games in now. All of these blokes have played sort of 15 tests. They're in trouble with their batting. And Ben Stokes taking the mental health break.
Yep.
He's got a broken finger, but he won't. I don't think he's playing at all. This whole indefinite break is what they were saying. They lose a really good middle order batsman there. Outside
And
of
some bowling capability.
outside of Root and Bairstow's okay at a test level, that their batting is so thin. Root's going to have to put this top order on his shoulders and carry him, or one, if not a few of these top three boys in Burns, Sibley, and Crawley have to step the fuck up.
Yeah, well, Root scored a third of their runs in this as well, and the others
64 of 183 quick mass. Yeah, a third.
So Bairstow
29, Crawley 27.
Some starts, but nothing real great there.
Dan Lawrence and Josh Butler, quackers down the bottom there.
Yeah,
looking pretty ordinary.
Josh Butler, nothing is. But Boomerang on there,
4 for 46.
So go back to the top, Monks. Run us through what is the England team, top to bottom.
So Burns, Sibley, Crawley, as we mentioned. Root in at 4, Bairstow 5. That's probably their strength there in the middle order. Dan Lawrence pretty unproven, batting 6. Josh Butler, excellent white ball cricketer, but hasn't done too much. Can you click on Josh Butler there? Let's have a look at his test stats, if you wouldn't mind. His white ball cricket unbelievable, as we saw recently against both Sri Lanka and Pakistan. So 50 tests at 34.5. Look, that's not bad. That's not bad, is it? Two tons. You don't really get that good a look at it. Batting 7.
No.
So he's pretty handy. But yeah, that top three is really hurting them at the moment. And then the bowlers, they went with Sam Curran, Ollie Robinson. He was the bloke that had they stood him down for the bad tweets from fucking.
Everyone's forgot about that. That was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that's right. It's old news
Let's move on.
Those tweets from 1813 on his fucking. It was a handwritten with a quill. That's how old they fucking were.
He's probably with Buzz doing that.
Yeah, he sent that on ye old Twitter. Fuck me. He cancelled someone from 12 years ago. Anyways, I've whinged about that before. And then the two best English quicks of all time in Stuart Broad and James Anderson. So
they have any spinners?
Well, no recognised spinners there.
So what they?
So
Root
probably might bowl some of his ranked leggies. What is that? Dan Lawrence doesn't bowl, does he? Have a click on him.
Looks like Pommy's might just got a wicket too.
Test.
Maybe not.
Test. Yeah, bro. He's bowled 36 balls in his 7 tests. So literally, the Root's going to be their spin option.
Yeah, it has to be their spin option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right arm off break.
Maybe Dan Lawrence gets the ball.
Robinson's currently bowling at the moment.
Yeah, so
India,
India, none for 34.
24 for overs today.
Yep, at the moment. So the Indians are off to a cracker. Let's have a look at that Indian team, if you don't mind, because interesting selections. So Sharma and Rahul getting the nod. Pujara 3, Kohli 4, Rahane 5, Punt 6.
Too far.
Sorry, yep.
Just let it go.
And then no Ravi Ashwin. So they went with Jadeja, and then they went 4 quicks in Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, and Mohammad Siraj.
Yeah. Doesn't look like I need much spin to open this test so far. I think Jadeja only bowled three overs
out of what, India's 60...
68, I think it was, or 65.
Should have it up there. Just scroll up
Just
a
scroll up
touch.
little bit. Yeah.
Three overs. A bit more.
Okay, go a bit more.
Unless you want to hear our quick maths there. 65. 3 out of 65 overs.
Yeah.
So the spinners aren't really going to get a look in here.
No,
are they?
I don't think so. We'll have to watch this and see if there's any much turning in there. Any other shocks in any other decisions?
Yeah.
England batting first.
No, I think that was the right decision. Yeah, look, to be honest, we only caught the highlights of this. It was in the middle of the night for us last night. But yeah,
What did you say last week? I think you were on England at home. You thought
I thought England at home. I thought Kohli's record in England. He had a great series, as one of our listeners pointed out to us back in 2018. However, he does
historically.
I think what was it, 34? He averages in England. But yeah, maybe you don't go off his 2014 series and prior series. Maybe you got to go off more recent form. But then if you want to use that argument. Yeah, the bloke hasn't made 100. Hasn't made 100 for nearly 2 years. So if you want to go off recent form there, although he's been reasonably good in white ball cricket, his red ball form has been poor.
Yeah.
So I had going into this England as favourites. We are also one day into a 5-test series.
True.
So
You can't really make a decision until both teams are batting and kind of see where the pitch is at.
That's what they say, Sean.
Yeah, so
can't judge a pitch until both teams are batted.
But India doing okay at the moment.
Started off very well here.
Yeah,
started
got
off
a
very
decent
well.
start.
Trying to see off that hooping new pill.
Yeah, I think more bounce than movement. It's not spin. What am I thinking of?
Swing.
That's the one. I knew I started with this. It's late. And I'm just trying to remember.
Late. Jesus Christ, 2 beers in.
Yeah. I need more beverages to help my brain think.
I can get you one. I don't know if it helps.
Yes, please. Yeah. So we'll keep this updated as the match goes on. We've got it in the background.
And next episode we'll be able to have a really good look.
Deep dive into what the result was from this match. But at the moment, India slightly ahead. What also sucks, do you want to do Trevor first and then we'll talk about the stinky Australians?
Yeah, let's do Trevor first because I think this is actually a good thing because Trevor Holmes has stepped down as chairman.
How many Marsh brothers did he pick to?
Well, you can't be bagging Mitch Marsh getting picked at the moment. He's only bloke scoring. He's only batsman with a pulse.
True.
So he stepped down. He's been a selector since 1994. How about that? Some
had an easy job, I'd say, during the 90s and early 2000s.
Very easy. And really only just come under fire in the last sort of 5-6 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of went between being a selector, chairman of selectors, and then he was chairman of selectors 1996 to 2006, and now most recently the last 5 years, 2016 to 2021. I wonder, who gets that job? He's going to be the big boss. I know Mark Waugh's been a selector for a long time. I would love to see Junior get that role. I'd
say it'd be someone from that generation, like from that cricket era, from the 90s and 2000s. That'd be my shout.
Google our current selection team, if you wouldn't mind. So, yeah, I don't know. Hats off to Trevor. Excellent career, but I think maybe getting some new ideas and a new head in there. I don't think it'll be the worst thing for Australian cricket.
No, not at all.
No.
So obviously JL is involved, and then we've got George Bailey, Sean Flegler, Matthew Mott. Sorry, that's for the women. Yep. So Bailey, Holmes, Langer coach. Mark was involved, isn't he? Maybe he stepped away from it.
Could have done.
Google Mark Watt. Maybe he's not selected anymore.
I think that something might have gone down where he's stepped aside. I can't remember what though.
It's just training racehorses and dish lickers. You know, his missus is racehorse trainer. He's got some good horses. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, we suck. I told you, but, you know.
Cricket.
Yeah.
Keep listening to On The Esky, please.
Not giving you many good reasons right at this point. So anyone that's not called Mitch Marsh in terms of batting has been really, really bad through at the whole West Indies series, and now 2 games against Bangladesh. We're down 2-0. We made 123 and skittled for 108 overnight.
Yeah, we played 2 games back to back, so within 24 hours of each other.
The bowlers looking okay. Can't fault them really. It's pretty hard to defend 123, and anyone outside of Mitch Marsh struggling. Wade named captain, unusual given that Carey got the nod with Finch going out. I know
the most senior player in that team, I would say.
Yeah, but why give Carey the ODI?
He did get
captaincy. I suppose,
one, so they were kind of like testing.
I suppose as well, Carey hasn't played heaps of T20 international cricket, whereas Wadey has. But
who's going to play in the T20 World Cup? Do you think Wade would more likely than Carey is?
No, I think Carey's more likely.
Fair.
We spoke about this 2 weeks ago or something on the Esky. Out of that team that's playing right now, the blokes that'll play in the World Cup, Mitch Marsh is bang down the door. He has to get picked.
Yep.
And then Stark will play. Agar maybe. And Hazelwood, I think, played he played the night before, didn't he? He didn't play yesterday.
I'm really
I think like 3 of those guys play in the World Cup, maybe 4.
Yeah, Onreeks was a little bit better today, but I'm really disappointed.
Onreeks has been struggling. Philippi, our boy Philippi.
Philippi's the one I'm really disappointed
after
with.
the big bash, we were on his dick. We were saying, get him in the team. He's been killing it, and poor bloke has really sort of made a meal of things. Yeah.
But he's also super young, so he's got plenty of time to turn around.
It's a lot of pressure playing for your nation, especially when we're not playing great cricket. No. You boys were sort of talking about it after the West Indies series, like, oh yeah, they get to go to Bangladesh, that should be okay. And I said, I'm scared. I'm really scared of this, especially at T20 level in Bangladesh. We got to win this next game.
Yeah, we're definitely struggling coming into that World Cup. Our World Cup chances aren't looking real great.
Mate, I don't think we get out of the group. I really don't think we get out of the group at the World Cup. Time will tell, but.
Yeah, well, we need some of those test stars, those guys that aren't playing in this, to come in and actually
and it's the same thing.
Turn it on for T20.
It's the same thing, if you've got Stoinis, Maxwell, Warner, possibly Smith, coming back for the T20 World Cup, maybe it's a different story. But we saw England, how much depth that they've got when COVID can wipe half their team the night before a game, and they'll just send their reserve side and
India, the same thing,
and go. And India's the same thing. Yeah, that's right. So the lack of depth is really concerning at the moment, isn't it?
Big time.
Anyways, time will tell. Speaking of World Cups,
well, just before we say that, have you looking at the India versus England game currently? Have we noticed the crowd and the amount of people that are at the ground?
Yeah, COVID's not a thing in England, dude. It's not a thing.
Yeah, well, look at this. There's a whole bunch of people.
We've only got the dictators down here, man.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, NRL news, the World Cup has officially been postponed because the Anzacs essentially did not want to go over to United Kingdom or England to play in that tournament. So they're going to push it back and hopefully do it next year sometime. And the
shit show, man.
Yeah,
shit show.
All,
but it's not the players. 75% of the players said that they were happy to go.
More than happy. A lot of them. We talked about the Indigenous All Stars or the Maori All Stars. Let's send them over instead.
But how does that make sense?
It doesn't. But it's like,
how does any of this make sense?
But
how
the players
want in this fucking league to do with COVID make sense? You know what they did? You know what they did on the weekend? Yeah. So Brisbane goes into its snap lockdown, right?
Yeah.
Because they had fucking 10 people had a runny nose or whatever it was. And Souths were on the tarmac in Rockhampton where there's no fucking COVID, and they flew them back to southeast Queensland to go play a game in Brisbane where there is COVID. Like, I know, and I love me rugby league. I know me
Well,
rugby
yeah, they cancelled all the games on Saturday,
Yeah.
moved them all to Sunday. So they did
But
change it.
they literally moved people from a COVID-free zone out of there to go into a place with COVID.
Yeah, well, all the games this week have been played at the Gold Coast and Suncorp.
Suncorp, and there's one at Redcliffe. Oh, we'll get to it in just a
yeah.
second.
But yeah, they've kind of brought it all back together. I don't know. I think whether it's the Queensland government just not happy about them travelling to regional areas because they're dirty New South Welshmen.
They're going to spread it, are they?
yeah. After being in a bubble for 2 weeks.
Queensland government and most of NRL and most people in Australia, including myself, need to go give themselves an uppercut, I think.
Yeah. So what was interesting about this? All 16 teams came out with an agreed statement. That hey, we're pulling out. World Cup is important. Oh, not important. Player safety, is important.
World Cup's not important.
Yeah, well, pretty much. World Cup's not important. Of course, the clubs are going to agree to this because they don't want horse stick Flanders to pull it out off. Pull stuff away from them. So they're definitely going to agree to whatever he says. But it was interesting. It was like, hey, we're worried about player safety in the UK, but like you say, there's COVID in Brisbane. Oh, let's play all our games there. Let's take everyone. There's like they don't. As long as the games keep playing, they don't give a fuck. They don't care about the players.
Trying to understand the logic of these decisions is like fucking banging your head against the wall. I don't know, you can't mandate vaccinations, but you could say if you want to play in the World Cup, you need to be vaccinated.
Oh well, there's been chat about mandatory vaccination in the NRL.
To go watch the games later as well.
Yeah,
that's kicked up a big thing.
Yeah, for the players, that's what I'm talking about, and I don't think it happened. It was interesting. Dana White came out today and said we're not doing that for the UFC.
Really?
But they're contractors, so he doesn't give a fuck. So he just get rid of you. Yeah. So anyway, so
it does let Bill Gates control your mind. I am aware.
Well,
of that.
the chips, yeah.
That's right. I've seen the magnet videos, dude. Jesus.
So that lockdown also caused a few issues for the AFL, and we'll talk about that. And they had to remove some of the games last week, and we'll get into the Melbourne lockdown at the moment, which is causing probably a few issues for the AFL, less so for the NRL because they're all in Queensland currently. But yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment with the two local leagues and where they're playing at this stage.
Oh, I didn't get my tip in. I've looks like I've tipped Brisbane. Completely forgot that game was on. It's on right now, actually. Should be able to check on that.
As my point stands, who the fuck cares?
Well, it's Newcastle and Brisbane.
Well,
Newcastle can make the top 8. Their run home is actually really, really easy. And Mitch Pearce back is massive for him. A big win against the Raiders last week.
Yep.
They are currently up 12-8 there at Suncorp against Brisbane. Newcastle's run home is Cronulla next week, then Canterbury, then Gold Coast, then Brisbane again.
Yep.
There's no reason why they can't win all of those games.
And I've picked Newcastle on this as well.
Yeah.
To agree with you on that point.
Any ins and outs? You just working you hard there, Monks. You need a little scroll down there.
Yeah.
So Jake Brayley, he's been rested for the Knights, and Mitch Pearce is back.
Tony Staggs is a big one.
He can't catch a break, can he? Poor bloke.
Well, he has caught a break. That's the problem. Well, it's not a break. His knee again. I think it's the same knee that he did his ACL. Don't think it was ACL. It's not an ACL, but
it sounds MCL-ish.
but another knee-related injury. As the Kookaburras tie up in the fourth.
1-1. Let's go. That's so good. Jordan Ricky was really good for the Broncos last week. 46 tackles, 0 miss. Unbelievable. Our battle here, the Esky, Battle of the Esky.
You forgot Monk's tip. Fuck Monk on the end. Who'd you pick? Newcastle?
Oh, yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah. I guess. Newcastle for Brisbane, give you a fuck.
Apologies, my boy. I'm actually really keen for this Raiders Dragons game tomorrow, the early Friday game up at Seabass Super Stadium. They are on the exact same points and the exact same points difference. So that's massive. The Raiders were on
neither team makes that. Let's put it that way.
You know, well, given Newcastle's run home,
pretty much,
and the Dragons still recovering from the party at Vorney's,
and Canberra just stink.
They won 3. They won 3 of the last 4. Man, you're on their dick last week.
No, I wasn't. I said, hey, they've improved.
You opened wine, you sat on it. I saw.
But I've been telling
Not stop talking about Rapana.
No, I said he's been better Rapana, and I said he's better at fullback.
Rapana.
But I said the defense is still bloody turnstiles.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see any of the highlights for our main man and what he did in that game. But it's not looking good for them.
It's not. And
I could not pick a team in this, and I didn't want to pick Canberra after how they played last week. But I was like, but I think the Dragons. Well, they've got Corey Norman playing the centres, and then they've got.
I think Norman's back at 6 for this, but he did play in the centres last week, and Ben Hunt broke his fucking
up.
Yeah.
So I think the Dragons stink more than the Canberra do at this point. So I was forced into picking the milk for this one.
They see they dropped Dufty. Well, he went to Dufty to the extended bench, and Jack Bird to play one. This is very reminiscent of
Jack Bird, the bloke that was been playing second row all year.
Second row, centres, 6.
He looks like a second row at the moment, so let's put it that way.
I think he's a good centre. I'm gonna go there. I think that's his best position. Be very interesting for him playing one. This is very reminiscent of Kevy Walters dropping Xavier Coates. Look, you're not in our plans next year.
Give the young fellas some game time.
Yeah, let's try something else. So I don't know if that's what Hooks thought here. You know, maybe just try Bird at 1 and see if he might be the heir apparent to go there. I still think that Tyrell Sloan was looking really good, and he missed out this week. So I don't know if he's admitted or if he's sore. He's not injured, is what they were saying. And I don't believe he was involved in the Vaughan party. So
do they have any suspensions this week, or have they done all their suspensions?
Yeah, so Jared Beale, Josh Kerr, and Tyrell Fui-Mai-Arno. That's the last of the Vaughan barbecue suspensions. Zach Lomax's back, which is huge because he broke his thumb back in like round 9.
Yeah,
and then because he was at the party. He served his suspension, but then he wasn't. It was some like COVID quarantine thing. He wasn't able to join the team, so he ended up. So it ended up fucking him 3 games.
Yeah.
So there's just the continued repercussions of that Saturday afternoon down in Shell Harbour, but. Yeah, it's really come back to bite us in the ass.
Have you picked the Dragons?
Yeah, they're my team. I got to pick. There's no reason. Look,
says Judas here that hasn't been picking them all year.
Well, no. I will. If it's a game I believe they can win, I'll tip them. If they're playing South,
Dragon Storms.
If they're playing South and it's $1.07 and they go out and get fucking 50 put on them, I'll tip South.
Yeah.
Because I still kind of care about this tipping competition a little bit. And as I always say, a lot of people had us for fucking the spoon, and now we're still, even after all the fiasco, all the drama of the last 6 weeks, there's still a legitimate chance of playing finals footy.
Yep.
So I've gone with my heart and I've tipped the Dragons, although on paper it's going to be a very, very big ask.
Monks?
I have tipped the Dragons as well. They are the underdog at $3.50. Raiders are favourites at $1.31 at the moment. Line is 11.5.
Big line.
Yeah, it's line, sure.
This is a big game tomorrow. Parramatta and South, Seabus Super Stadium. Parra looked really, really bad last week
Pretenders.
against the Chooks. Yeah.
Big time pretenders.
I was listening back to that little Foo Fighters clip that I put in. It didn't quite work as well as I hoped live, but yeah, that is the Parramatta theme song at the moment.
You can try it again now if you want.
Maybe I can just sing it. Yeah. What if I say you're not like the others? Yeah, Dave Grohl here. Call me Dave.
He's got to grow your hair out a little bit.
Mitch Moses is back for Parramatta. That's pretty
Big get for him.
Pretty wild considering he's fractured his back 3 weeks ago. Regan Campbell Gillard goes out with a groin, and Parra's run home. Oh my goodness, they play South twice, and I think they also play. I'll give it to you actually. Just bear with me 1 second here. So South Sydney tomorrow night, then Manly. That game's it's meant to be at Manly. That's not. It won't be there. No. It'll be somewhere in Queensland. Then North Queensland. So that's a very winnable game. But then they finish off with Melbourne and South. So they run home. They got to play Manly, Melbourne, which is a lot of people's grand final, and South Sydney twice.
Yep.
Pretenders.
Yeah, they're not making it.
Dave Grohl. No. Play the music.
Well, they'll make the finals. They're not going very far. South, on the other hand, they're going all right at the moment, and they did pick up Milford. That was their main signing during the week. Well, of course, for next season, he's not playing for them this year.
Thoughts on that signing? They would have got him cheap.
Yeah, well, I think with Dane Gagai going back to Newcastle, they kind of needed an extra back. But Dane Gagai and Milford are not
Very different.
Very different.
Very different.
Adam Reynolds,
and again,
going maybe, they've got some ideas of.
Well, do you think he'll play 7?
I wouldn't, but Wayne's not there anymore. He's also handing it over. He's finishing up at the
who's
end of
going
the
to
year.
coach them?
Whoever the assistant is at the moment. They're doing that.
Can you find that out?
They're doing the successful handover that Hawthorn's not doing at the moment.
We'll get into that in a second.
So, I don't know how that's all going to work out, but obviously Wayne's probably put a shout in for coaching him for many years.
Yeah, for sure.
I just
they
don't
would have got him dirt cheap, and he's still. You got to think, like, a lot of people shit on Milford the last few years, and it's hard when someone is so electric at such a young age, and then they kind of fizzle out.
But what position would he play in today's NRL?
Maybe a 14. Would you use a bench position on him as a utility?
But if he comes on, he's saying he's hooker. Then he's got to come in.
No, well, he can't be a hooker, can he? And then you can't pick
You can't pick him over Cook.
Then you can't have a backup hooker on your bench if you got to have 3 forwards.
Yeah, and he's not playing in the forward line. He's not big enough, and I don't think he's trim enough and tall enough, say, to play in the back 5 positions, because that's what the NRL kind of wants these days.
He has
to be like
it has to be a ball running half, doesn't it?
Yeah. But they've already got one, so I don't know why they need another one. They've got.
It's a head scratcher, isn't it? It's a real head scratcher.
I don't
know.
Maybe he plays. No, they can't play. They've got Latrell. Why would they play him at 1? Like, to me, it makes no sense.
Latrell's been lights out.
This signing does not make sense to me.
No, it's a real head scratcher. The only thing I can think of is they've got him dirt cheap, and maybe they've got a kid coming through the ranks, but they're not sold on him just yet, and they're going.
Still a bit of a mentor.
Mentor / like a hand.
Probably the wrong dude you want.
Or what? Like,
you got Benji Marshall there already. That's the dude you want mentoring young fellas.
Benji's going again next year.
Yeah.
So that makes the whole head scratcher scenario even more pronounced. Is that they might just go Walker 6, Benji 7, and then maybe it's a very unusual signing.
It all makes sense to me. Anyway, in this game, who are you picking?
South. Yeah. South.
Got some odds for us?
South, just before the odds. They put 50 on the Dragons. This is their last few games. And granted, not the greatest opposition. No. But the last few weeks, 50 against St. George, 60 against the Warriors, 32 against the Dogs. Got on Canterbury, holding on to 32. 46 against the Cows, 38 against West Tigers, and 46 against Brisbane. They are a point-scoring team.
They score some points, but
they can leak.
They can leak.
They can leak, but I think that's their game plan. They're not like a Penrith or a Melbourne or even Parramatta before they got smashed last week. That's gone. We're going to try and win this game defensively. They kind of go, look, we've got some blatant flaws in our defense, but let's go out and just try and have a gunslinging match.
Yeah, Mark's you made a good find there. Do you want to run us through that?
Yeah, so it's with Wayne Bennett leaving. So the current assistant coach, Jason Demetriou, will be head coach next year, and John Morris will be coming in as assistant coach.
Yeah, I think he signed this week on for that. I do remember seeing that.
Yeah, so good for him.
So that's where he's found his feet after getting shafted by Cronulla.
A couple of weeks ago, but I missed that. So John Morris, good on him. Good on South. He did nothing wrong.
By all accounts,
wrong
Jason also is a really good up-and-coming coach. So that's why they've kind of, led Wayne out the door, let him do what he wants to do, and then they've handed over to him.
Yep, nice little handover. Can South win the comp?
I don't think they can beat Manly. And I don't think, at the moment, Manly beats the Storm. So I think Storm's winning the comp.
Yeah.
A healthy Penrith probably is the only one that I think competes with Melbourne, but they're struggling at the moment with no Keary back there.
Cleary.
I keep doing that. Cleary, not Keary.
Whoever, it's funny. You are borderline dyslexic, and you're like, let's start a podcast.
No, I can't speak. I'm not dyslexic. I just can't speak.
You reckon that's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the name right. I didn't jumble up the letters or anything. I got the wrong name for the bloke.
You didn't get the name right at all.
Yeah, I got someone else's name, but I got it right.
I don't think that's the same thing, bro.
Yeah. So
I don't know how that
at
works.
least I haven't got Monks and Peps on my left. So anyway,
What do you mean?
What?
Monks and Peps on my left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably not really dyslexic either. That's just.
Well, you can't say my first name anyway.
No, I can't spell you. No, well, your parents can't spell your first name.
Hey, kid, that's the Italian spelling. There's no H, it's in my arm. Monks, please. For the listeners.
I have tipped the Rabbitohs as well. They are favourites at $1.31. Para out at $3.50 at the moment. The line is 10.5.
Total game points, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, 51.5.
Love that. Love that.
Easy.
Yeah. I think Para should be able to score a few points, and the way Souths are going, surely they put on another 36.
Yeah, easy. I reckon there'll be 70 points in this game.
Yep. I love that.
Warriors, Cronulla.
Warriors, Cronulla, the first of the Saturday games. Ben Murdoch-Masila out for the season with a foot injury, poor fella. However, a lot of troops coming back for the Warriors. Adam Fanua-Blake is back after that nasty dislocation. They got their 7 back in Chanel Harris-Tavita and Matt Lodge, who was lights out a few weeks ago for them. You guys saw the Will Chambers incident, didn't you? What goes through your head when you're down 40-10? He put one good shot on Dylan Walker, and even then, it was one of those ones where Walker's sort of got a bit of a hospital pass. He's kind of, caught ball and thrown it, and then got lit up by Chambers. It's not like, a big 110 kilo bloke running at you and you smack him when he's trying to run steamroll you. And then he's running his mouth for about 5 minutes after that when they're getting smoked. And Turbo busted over in that and got right in his face and was like giving it back to him. Thoughts?
I think, and that's probably where Cronulla's season is at the moment. And, with the club kind of phoning it in this year, sacking the coach and saying, hey, we're worried about next year. Will Chambers, not a mercenary, but it's all about the individual accolades and they don't care about what the team's doing. Yeah. That's where I think they're at the moment. It was just like, he did have shit stats though, so he didn't have a great game. Honestly,
he had a howler, mate. Yeah. He had a Barry Crocker. I'm looking. I'll look it up now. It was
like 60 meters.
I know that because I picked him up for cheap for my fantasy team when he came back in the league 10 weeks ago, and I'm a horrible fantasy player, and he has just been sitting there doing fucking donuts for the Peppers Mongrels, and that's why I missed the finals. It's all you, Will Chambers. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I that's kind of my thinking is they don't care about the scoreline anymore. They're too busy worried about individual brilliance and kind of say, hey, I got one up on you. Like, how good am I?
You know how we were speaking about Jordan Ricky before, 46 tackles, 0 missed?
Yeah.
Will Chambers, 12 tackles, 5 missed tackles. No, he didn't drop the ball. Good on him. And he made 60 metres. 60 metres. And they hooked him. They took him off with about 15 minutes to go in there.
Yeah, I don't think that's what the club wants to be about long term, but I don't think William Chambers will be there next year. He's only on a short deal coming back from
he's only on until the end of this year.
Yeah. So, again, I think he's more in the...
It's just bad for optics, man. And luckily for Cronulla, because Manly had a bloke sin bin at the end of this game, and Cronulla managed to score 2 tries whilst they were... Cronulla had a guy sin bin, and they scored twice whilst they were a man down. Yep. So they actually made it look a little bit closer than it was. But yeah, I never... When you're down, when you're getting really belted and you're under your mouth like that, you're like, come on, dude. Back to Facundo Campazzo, he was running his mouth yesterday. He's like, dude, you're down by 30 in basketball.
Do you reckon any of it would have been just trying to G up his own blokes?
It didn't really seem like anyone was really getting around.
No,
it didn't.
Around him that much. After that shot, that he put on Walker, he got the big slap on the back. Yeah, good stuff, good on ya. And then, I don't know, after that, it was just a lot of Will just running his mouth and not much else from anyone else. But yeah, anyways, maybe he was trying to fire up his boys and, try and stage a comeback, but yeah, I don't know.
think so.
For mine, the optics were really poor.
Yeah. I wonder if he's trying to put on some good tape for next year. Get another deal, but I don't think that's not the sort of stuff.
What's he doing next year? Rapping?
Yeah.
That's the only thing he was doing, running his mouth.
Yeah, true.
Sean Johnson, season done, and
done with the Sharkies
and done
too.
with the Sharks. Yeah,
Achilles.
Achilles. Really sad. A legend bloke. And yeah, he'll go back to his home NZ next year to join up with the Warriors that he took to that grand final in, I think it was his second year. So sad to see a champion, finish up at the Sharks like that. But looking forward to see what he can do for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Tips. I'm going to do these tips whilst we go here, actually, because I haven't done any bloody tips.
I went with the Sharks.
Warriors.
Yeah, I'm going Warriors too.
I picked the Warriors last week because I thought they'd win that game for RTS finishing up.
And I poo-pooed you.
Yep.
I was like, no, no RTS is a bad thing. And granted, it was the West Tigers.
Yes.
And that was one of the worst viewing games. It was close, sure, and the Warriors staged a nice comeback, but the quality of football in that game was dreadful.
No, not good at all. I just think Cronulla, where they're at, no Sean Johnson, they're just as bad, if not worse, than the Warriors are.
Who's playing?
Warriors have talent. That's what I think they've got.
And those three guys coming back in are all handy. Like AFB's up there with the best prop getting around. They've actually got a half coming back, and Lodge has played really well for him in the games that he's played. The halves pairing this week for Cronulla is Connor Tracy and Braden Trindle.
Yeah, letting Chad Townsend go earlier to actually. Well, he's injured now,
He
but
got hurt,
to go to play for New Zealand, like you're not having a backup now.
They don't care about this. It's
100%. They don't
It's actually amazing because they can still make the final. They're in the 8. They're in the 8 right now. We should mention the top 6 is sorted. Manly are 8 points clear of the Gold Coast. That's 6th to 7th. But then Gold Coast, Cronulla, Canberra, Dragons, and Newcastle all on 18 points. You'd imagine your 2 finalists come out of those 5 teams.
Yep.
And then statistically speaking, the Warriors, Tigers, Cowboys, if they really put a heater on,
win out,
win out and rely on other results.
Unlikely.
But yeah, it's cool that there's 2 spots left and 5 teams in for a genuine sniff.
Yeah.
Before you go to the next one, it looks like the Kookaburras, the game time is over. It's
Oh my
1
God.
all. So
Do they go? They have extra time, or they go straight to penalty shootout in this? Again, avid hockey fans. This is as good as our ice hockey coverage.
No, not sure. And we might actually miss it. They might switch to the 400 final for the men's.
Coming up,
Yeah.
surely.
I'd say it'd be extra time.
Surely they got to have extra time.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're just having a break and everyone's kind of getting ready. Yeah. And also, while we were talking about it, the Indian guys are starting to get a bit settled in here as well. They've been looking good and hitting the ball or seeing it off quite well and getting some boundaries.
None for 62 there with Rahul and Sharma both in, seeing off the new ball.
Mm-hmm.
India in a commanding position, really.
Yep. Could be a bad day for England.
Let's get some odds on that Warriors Cronulla.
Mark's finished
A long time.
Completely forgot about that game.
Cronulla are fucking red hot favourites. Would you believe?
They are. So they are favourites, $37. Warriors are $3.10. We've got a line
money there.
of
9.5 is the line in this game. That's Pepsi's bet of the week.
What, Warriors?
Warriors plus 9.5 at $1.90. Chuck that in a multi somewhere. Lose some money with me.
Yeah, they got 40 put on. Anyway,
A really interesting game here.
Yes.
Both teams a little bit injury
well,
ravaged.
I think all the top 6 are all playing against each other in this round, which is excellent. So we've had
they are too.
Para Souths.
Yeah.
We're now going to talk about Roosters Penrith, but then we've got Manly taking on the Storm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll get a very good idea of finals preview here on this round.
And
where
essentially,
everyone's at.
the whole season is who can beat the Melbourne Storm. But there's no chance that any other team outside of these 6 are doing anything late in the prelim or GF.
Agreed.
So, yeah, it gives us a nice little preview of the finals. The game that we're talking about is the Chooks and the Panthers. You know the Roosters, after they smacked Parramatta last week, they come out, 60% of their salary cap isn't playing at the moment.
Yeah.
That is wild. We talk about the Australian cricket team having no depth. They need to go talk to Nick Politis.
Yes. Yeah. Ask him how he does his books.
Yeah. Need to bring in the old paper bag full of cash into the Australian cricket team.
Called Hiluxes or Mercedes.
Yeah, boats. Plenty of ways around it.
Yes. But this game, though, Penrith is Cleary back in this one.
He's named as a 21.
Yes.
So that might be a game time decision.
Yeah. Do you rush him back for this one?
No.
I think you save him. Having said that, Pango Jr. in for the Panthers.
Yeah, off the bench.
I wonder if he had to do 2 weeks like quarantine before switching teams. I wouldn't have thought so, but
I don't know
maybe.
if that came into.
But he's missed two weeks, so since signing for Penrith. So I would have thought maybe miss 1 and then get him straight in.
I do wonder if it's a quarantine thing. But then if he's quarantined, he literally wouldn't have trained with them.
No.
Or 1 or 2.
Yeah, but
I
I
think
think
it's probably just easing him easing him into the squad.
it is shoot off.
I thought it is.
Yeah.
And you see the way they do it? It's like an ice hockey one. Like, so they start in the line and then you run at them and the keeper runs at you. Come on, go past. Oh, no. All right. So Belgian keepers made a great save there.
They get a time limit as well on that.
There's a time limit. Yep.
About 10 seconds, yeah.
And I think as soon as the keeper touches the ball, it's over.
Yeah.
But
so he was never going to catch up.
You can
to that,
you can try and go past them. Yeah. That hurts.
That's a great save to start off.
Here we go. Fucking, this is pretty cool, man. Like, again, it's one of those sports that you probably only watch once every 4 years, but this is coming down to a gold medal. Come on, son. Come on.
The spin.
Oh, no. Belgium score. 1-0 to the Belgians. Oh, goodness. Let's try and this will be good listening, but we'll try and do simultaneous. So Isaiah Yeo is back for Penrith. That is Matt.
Well, I thought he was going to miss out, and that's why Pangai, they were putting him in the team for this to cover for Yeo
for Fisher Harris.
Fisher Harris.
So
but Yeo with his concussion, I thought they might have thought he'd miss a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so Fisher Harris is left the bubble to go be there for birth of child.
Yes.
So that's what they were
that was the main one for his signing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was even better add with
come on.
Yeah, with Yeo in there.
Come on, put it in.
Time.
Oh yes.
Got it just.
Oh.
That nasty.
Just.
Well, nick of time there.
Yeah.
What do you now with Penrith, right? Sure, they've been really busted up, but the games that they're dropping have been a bit of a concern. Would you think? Like,
who'd they lose to last week?
They
sorry, I did have it up here a second. Melbourne.
Oh, that's fair.
They got smacked. That's right. They got smacked by Melbourne. They got smacked by Melbourne. But
they
then
lost to Cronulla
and
round
West
14
and West Tigers
13.
And only just beat Brisbane a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The thing is, Melbourne, like a lot of their games, Munster wasn't, available. Pap hasn't been available just about all year. Melbourne doesn't do this. Whereas, and I know they've been ravaged, and maybe I'm being a bit of a devil's advocate here, but the depth at Penrith is a bit concerning.
Yeah, well, their entire young fellas is essentially what the squad they've got now. So all those guys are coming through the system. They're in the starting squad. They don't have that second wave of guys coming through quite yet. I've picked Penrith in this. Thinking maybe the ad, and they've just got maybe slightly a bit more talent than what the Roosters have. But yeah, it's hard. This will be a good game, I think. Great game. Close.
Great game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Great game. I'm gonna go Penrith as well, but there is no reason why the Chooks can't win this the way that they've been playing.
100% agree.
And those odds again are very surprising. I think, Monks, if you wouldn't mind your tip on the odds.
No, they are. So Penrith are favourites. Oh, so I tip Penrith as well. They are favourites $1.35. Roosters are out at $3.25 at the moment.
Wow.
Line's 9.5. Total match points 47.5.
I don't think this will be particularly high scoring. This is up.
He went really wide on that.
He did, and he missed the handle, didn't he? So
tied up.
Yeah, tied up in the hockey here. The Australian keeper just made a save, and I think the Belgian striker. Look at this. He kind of misses the handle.
He's trying to. He tried to.
He tried to flick him.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, this is scintillating, boys. This is scintillating. Manly and Melbourne is
the third in those big games we mentioned before, and this is probably the biggest one.
isn't it? Well, I alluded to it before. A lot of people have this been their grand final, despite the fact that Manly's running sixth. But the way Tommy Turbo's been playing, oh no,
Oh, can you get that back?
Hit it! She's got to hit it. Hit it! He's running out of time.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Oh no!
Belgium straight back with a save.
So it's all going to come down to this. Australian keeper must make a save. Oh, that Belgian he's done that twice, hasn't he? Shot in and smacked the ball. Wowie wawa. Well,
while we wait for that, so Pappenhausen has
he's back. He's back.
He has resigned for a further 3 years and
Yep.
a good contract extension for them.
Yep.
So he will stay in Melbourne for the foreseeable future.
He's playing 14 this week, isn't he? They haven't got him straight back in the start.
No, I think
17.
He's on the bench.
Yeah,
17,
they're working him back into the squad.
Oh no! Oh no!
Fair.
I don't know what it means in hockey.
But no, I think he grabbed a leg or something, so they're going to
They're going to redo maybe.
Or they give it as an illegal move and they'll give him the goal or some shit.
Yeah, good.
Sub out the keeper.
Hockey experts here, boys. Hockey experts.
And to end like that'd suck. Does he get any ball?
They're going to look at it to see if he gets the ball. So he doesn't get the ball.
No.
Because that does end it if he. Oh no! So he gets to shoot it from there now. Oh fuck!
Yeah. This is where. Oh, he gets it.
Belgium wins. Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy! Hang on, what's going on here? They're not celebrating.
No, so it goes to 5.
Right.
So
we got to score and then
we
stop
need
it.
to score.
Okay. Scintillating listening. Scintillating. very nice viewing, actually. Very nice viewing. Let's keep talking about this Manly Melbourne game. Tommy Trebojevic, can you bring up the stat line from
what's
last week?
What's he up to? 17?
Well, he's got a hat trick last week. So 18. He had 15 the week before.
So he's up to 18
so he's
tries.
done 18 tries from 11 games. And he ran for over 300 metres last week. Yeah. Come on, son. Come on, put it in. Oh, no. Put it in. Hit it. Oh, hit the fucking post.
Off the post.
Oh, there's a celebration.
Belgium win the gold. Australia silver.
Gold. Oh, that's...
Shout out to that keeper.
He did really well there, didn't he? Bit of heartbreak there for the Kookaburras. Look, they've played excellently. They've got a silver medal, and I think the Belgians are really fancied here. The hockey referee's doing some weird hockey shit that we don't understand. Maybe we'll try and talk about a sport that we kind of semi-understand in the league. So Turbo, 3 tries. I think he had 3 tries this off the top of my head, 300 plus metres.
Killed it.
He was Cronulla's dad. They should have called him Dad and not Tom. What's our thoughts here, boys? This is awesome. This is an awesome matchup. Melbourne, you'd imagine a highly favoured side.
Yeah, I've picked Melbourne.
We're getting a redo.
Oh, maybe. He missed the ball and hit his leg.
He got his foot, dude. He got his foot.
Yeah.
Hockey expert. I know that. You can't do that. You can't do that, man.
So will he get a shot from right in front as well?
Hopefully.
Fuck me.
Hopefully.
Oh.
The gift that keeps on giving, the hockey at the Olympics. Wowie wawa. Come on, boys. Come on.
They don't seem too enthusiastic about it.
No, the Belgians have already celebrated as well.
You'd be very nervous if you're Belgium, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Man.
Like, they're still in the box seat.
They are.
Yeah, well, he's still to score, but big call.
Manly
big
and
call.
Melbourne, while we wait for this to come through, I've got Melbourne.
Melbourne here too as well.
Hard to tip against them, but
Very hard to tip.
would love to
against
see
Melbourne.
Manly win.
Yeah, those Turbo Eagles are something else.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've gone Melbourne as well. They are favourites $1.28. Seagulls are out at $3.75 at the moment. Line is 11.5 and total match points is 50.5.
That's pretty high scoring, but the way the rugby league's been this year.
Yeah, well, this would be a 40
especially
to 20
with,
game
with Melbourne. Yeah.
But what a Saturday night that is. Roosters, Chooks into Manly and
We
Melbourne.
won't talk about the Saturday afternoon, but yes.
We'll go through very quickly the Sunday games.
Yeah.
Dogs, Tigers up at more smart, more safe Morton Stadium. No, that's a bit of a pass, I think. There, Dane Laurie is out. He broke his leg very early in that Warriors game, and it's a shame because he has been a really bright spark. Him and Dewey have been excellent for the West Tigers. Everyone else, not so much. And the Dogs are just, sort of getting by.
The Dogs are the Dogs.
I'm tipping them. I
There you go.
I've gone the upset here. Yeah, I think Canterbury beat West Tigers this
I
weekend.
picked West, but not going to watch it, so I'm not confident.
This is a pretty dud
This is a
game,
Pooh
isn't
Sunday.
it?
Yep.
Isn't it? They put all their eggs in one basket. Saturday night is where it's at for the rugby league this week. Hockey, they're still deliberating.
Yeah.
They are.
Definitely hits him on the foot, so how much of an impact that I guess I put on the play, maybe, I don't know. Well, I think he's asked the Australian captain what he wants to do. So
Having a chat.
Yeah.
What's the odds in this one?
So I've picked Tigers as well. They are favourites, $1.45. Bulldogs are out at $2.75 at the moment. Line's 6.5. So close game. Total match points is 52.5. So expecting a lot of points.
Yeah, you don't mind that, but neither of these teams can really defend.
no.
And then let's wrap up Sunday. Gold Coast versus the Cowboys. The Gold Coast currently sitting 7th, so they would be pretty on themselves to win this one.
Maybe surprising a few people that they are currently sitting in 7th. Like
The Gold Coast?
Yeah, the Gold Coast.
On paper, they deserve to be there. Consistency's been a big thing, and early on, especially in the season, defending, they were conceding a lot of points.
Got the redo.
Well, redo, so here we go. Come on.
Comes
Go
out.
early, go
Comes
early,
out.
go early.
Shoots. Goes for the spin.
No,
he fucked it
so that's
anyway.
officially out.
100% that goalie on point.
That goalie, yeah. Whoever the Belgian hockey keeper is, he might. Let's shout him a beer now.
Yeah,
Before we
definitely.
fucking forget by next weekend.
No, exactly. He's Belgium. They're going to sing some beers after this.
Oh yeah, strong. You'd have to be careful on those Belgian beers. Fuck, they've really undone me in the past before. Drinking them there like they're a 4.5%er.
Yeah. There you go.
And
Shout out to them.
look, bittersweet for the Cookers. A few tears. They've won a silver medal. Like, boys, be proud. A team, as fancied as the Kookaburras don't go there to win silver medals. They would have had their heart set on the gold medal, but look, they've let no one down going that far. A silver medal's nothing to sneeze at. So
No, definitely not.
So great work, and got us, let's say, very, 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 very casual hockey fans really enthralled here on a Thursday night.
A bit more exciting than some of the NRL.
What is it?
Hashtag Bumhouse League.
Have we got an update in that awesome?
Well, did you have a tip in this game, Marcus?
Newcastle are up 28-18.
Yeah, Newcastle going to win. Brisbane stink. Gold Coast, who'd you pick? Gold Coast? Oh, I think we're all Titans.
Yeah, I went Gold Coast as well.
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, again, favourites $1.28. Cowboys are out at $3.75. The line's 12.5. Total match points again 54.5.
54. Their high lines.
Yeah.
These days. Used to be like
Average margin's been 19 plus. So
yeah.
Yeah.
you just hope the other team can score 18 points to get you
that,
over it.
They don't get kept to a donut or a single try.
Yeah.
But a really interesting week in rugby league, which I can't say we've had too much of that. The Melbourne
3 massive games. Let's hope they're
and the
excellent
Melbourne
viewing.
Penrith game, before all the injuries for Penrith last week, that was really sort of, building up to be a great display, and it kind of fizzled out pretty early in that one. Melbourne just way too good, but yeah, there's a few great games here.
Ooh.
AFL.
Yeah, let's go on the AFL. Let's talk about some AFL. And as we alluded to earlier, I think the big news to start with was the shenanigans that are happening in Hawthorn.
Alistair Clarkson. So he's going to stay on for the last few games of the year. Hawthorn obviously not playing finals, so that's just 3 more games. And then the 4-time premiership winning coach is done. Where he ends up next year.
Well, I think he said he's
anyone's
going
guess.
to take a year off. Like he was like, hey, I'm going to take a break. I don't think he wants to rush straight into it.
Yeah.
Do you think he will?
At the Pies, like as you link him 1-to-1.
Yeah, and Carlton and Gold Coast have sort of been thrown in the mix as well.
Yeah.
I say it every week on the potty. I'm not really convinced on this David Teague hate. I think
give Teague a bit more time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit more time. Look, poor Stewie Jew. The Gold Coast Suns have been really quite poor this year.
They've been hurt though.
They have been hurt, but there's no growth at that club. It doesn't seem like it just seems like they're always going, but they're not going forwards. So, yeah, maybe if they've got a bit of money, maybe they throw some at Clarko. Do you think he will have a year off? Or if someone throws him an offer he can't refuse?
Yeah, well, it depends on the club and depends on the deal. That's probably what it is.
If the price is right.
Yeah. If the Pies want to come along and say, here's a 4-year deal and here's multi-millions of dollars to do it, then he might go, shit, yeah.
Yep, and be mad not to. But also, he's done it all. He's got nothing to prove, and he's probably got fucking plenty of zeros sitting in the back of his bank account. One of the most stressful jobs there would be getting around, and especially if it's Collingwood that's making the offer, the most stressful job at the biggest club in the AFL. Yep. Very, very difficult for him to take that up, even if the price is right. But what were your thoughts on how Hawthorn handled this situation after saying he was going to see out his contract, and then is it Mitchell? Yeah, Sam Mitchell.
Sam Mitchell was going to take over from him.
Slightly disrespectful.
Yeah.
For the
I think everyone
the emperor in your dynasty.
Yeah.
They didn't hang him out to dry. Or, it wasn't a full, it wasn't a John Morris.
Yeah, well, they didn't just sack him. It was like,
that's right. It wasn't that, but slightly disrespectful. I think they're not going to achieve anything with these last 3 games anyway. No.
I think it kind of blew up in their face, really. And it was like, what are you doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
I would have thought maybe show him a bit more respect and try and get that nice sort of send-off.
Make this off-season problems, not now. So.
For sure. The worst thing that's ever happened in sports management, no. Slightly disrespectful, yes.
Yeah. There's a few Chicago Bulls and Green Bay Packers teams who are more worried about how they've been managed.
For sure.
There's a few retirements to follow that up.
Yeah, so Chris Mayne, 32-year-old, 244 games for Freo and the Pies. He's hanging up the boots. And a kind of a sad one.
They're big time sad, this one.
In Daniel Venables, he's only 22. He was West Coast's 13th overall draft pick back in 2016. He's only managed 22 games.
Won a premiership with him?
Yep. I don't think he played.
He didn't play, I don't think.
Yeah, but
he got a medal.
Yeah. And to be calling it quits for concussion issues at 22.
Well, serious brain trauma. So
what happened? Was it footy related?
I don't know. I'm assuming it was footy related, and he has ongoing lingering symptoms. Like he'll be good for a couple of weeks, and then it will just come back and hit him on a train.
That is very scary.
Yeah, big time scary. So and for a 22-year-old,
poor bloke.
So he has not played since. Hang on, let's make sure I got these facts right. Yeah, he hasn't played since 2019.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. After suffering a brain trauma. Marking a contest.
Yeah, fuck.
What? So going up high,
for a mark and
must have gone up high and come down hard, or loose elbow maybe.
Here we go. We've got the footage.
Bring up the video here.
This is so sad, man.
Yeah,
so sad. So 2019,
that looks bad.
Back against Melbourne.
So he's just going up, or did you just get the? Oh, no, he didn't. He gets hip.
Gets a knee.
Knee hip from a guy coming across and hits him square on the jaw. So,
but it's his head hitting the ground there that's done the damage, isn't it?
It's probably both. So the worst ones are the double knockout. So that one there and then the ground as well. Because, the worst thing for a guy getting a concussion is getting another knock straight away. That's the ones that are really, really bad. So in that kind of time, getting that hip, probably puts you out, and then hitting the ground as well. You don't want that. That's really feel for him.
This is so sad, man. Like, we talk, and
he's been dealing with it for 2 years.
Yeah. We talk sometimes about blokes passing away, legends of the game, etc., but not to take away from anything. When blokes do die, but sometimes they've had their run. And it's nice to remember, like we have this year, with a Bob Fulton or a Tommy Raudonikis, they're going out at, after a really good run.
Yeah.
This is just fucking heartbreaking, man. Like,
well, that's it. Just so young, so early on in his career. He played 21 games. Yeah.
And he's got eyes for the footy. He's done everything that you get taught to do. He's been courageous. Yeah. And it's just copped a completely incidental hip. Yep. Completely incidental. Wishing him and his family all the best. That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely 100%. Yeah.
makes you think, man, as well. You know, when people like to fucking run their mouths about professional athletes and they get all this money and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Mate, shit like this doesn't happen in your office job.
No, not at all.
You know?
Oh, it depends where you work, maybe.
In an office?
Yeah, guys flying around corners with elbows up. You might cop one. I don't know. I'm just talking shit here.
Old Terry Tate.
Yeah, exactly. Office linebacker. Shout out to Terry Tate. Great stuff. Look, he seems he seems happy about the decision and just hoping that those symptoms might subside. But yeah, after 2.5 years, that's a fucking long journey, man.
Yeah. I think there was another retirement as well from the Western Bulldogs this week. The name's escaping me.
If only there was an avid lover of the Western Bulldogs here, they could fill us straight in on it.
Yeah. So there was a couple of retirees, of course, getting towards the pointy end of the season for those, well, not the Bulldogs, but some of those clubs that, you know, aren't are going to be deep there, or they're kind of finishing up. They know their careers are finishing up, so they're calling it quits and retiring this year. Got a name, us?
Just trying to bring something up now.
Why don't we, whilst you chase it up, let's preview this first game.
Well, do you want to?
Lin Jong.
That's the one.
Lin Jong. Yep. Well, that's massive because he has had injured everything.
Yep.
Shoulders, ribs, knees, head knocks. He's done it all. So part of that premiership winning side and beloved at that club.
Yeah, he's big club favourite. Definitely. Do you want to just mention Tex real quick?
Yeah. I don't really.
He should be in a bit of hot water. Let's just put it that way.
So Tex was at the Crows Sandful game against North Adelaide, and allegedly, there was a racial slur made towards Robbie Young of North Adelaide. Mm-hmm. What was said is unknown. The club is investigating. There's something to do with some confidentiality rule until they've made an assessment and reviewed the situation.
Yeah,
it'll be all very hush hush. The thing is for me,
well, Texas
he's the captain.
He's also the captain.
He's the captain. So you probably, if there anything was untoward.
So he didn't train today, and I think they said he was rested, not stood down. But I don't think he's playing this weekend.
He's out for this weekend.
Yeah, right. That's
the big loss.
Is it a big On The Esky curse? He's having the season of his lifetime. He's should be an All-Australian finally. He's running second in the Coleman medal, and hopefully he doesn't miss the rest of the season. But also, who knows what was said? This
saying some shit he probably didn't need to say.
Well, this could be
some banter like it.
This could be one of two ways, couldn't it? This could have been some kind of friendly banter that's been blown absolutely out of proportion by the media, or this could be something that really needs to be stamped out, and we don't know, so we can't comment.
Yeah, he could have had his Eddie Maguire moment. Who knows?
We'll just see. We'll see in the coming weeks what happens. But it's sad for Crom fans and anyone that was sort of rooting for Tex Walker to make that All Australian side. If he misses one game, probably won't hurt him too much. But if he misses the last three, it will really hurt. So we'll see what happens there. Tomorrow night, it's a Geelong on a Friday night game. It'll shock me. Geelong played GWS. The Cats only just sort of accounted for North last week, whereas the Giants are coming.
That wasn't Tassie though.
Yeah, that's right.
And we did say they won't score many points, and there weren't many points.
It was 62-42, I think. 104 points. Mm-hmm. Bet the unders in Tasmania. 100%. I didn't do it. I forgot. I think this was whilst I was playing park footy myself. But yeah, forgot completely about betting the unders there. It's cash, man. It's cash. If they give you 140, 150 in Tasmania, fucking take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Mm-hmm. You'd imagine Geelong will be way too strong for the Giants here. I agree. The Giants are just sitting outside the 8. They are on 34 points, 2 points behind Fremantle. That draw way back when against the Kangas hurting them a little bit.
Yep.
So their run home, so they got Geelong, then they got Richmond, and then they got the mighty Carlton Blues on
so
the
maybe
final
win
day.
one of those.
Yeah, Richmond aren't looking too good at the moment. Thoughts? I imagine it's all Catters here.
Yeah, big time. Cats.
Catters.
Yeah.
It's at the Cattery.
Yeah,
It is.
especially at home. They're hard to beat there.
Are they having some crowds back in Victoria? Just no. Well,
Well, they're-
Not now with the lockdown.
There's the talk of the
5 cases
snap. Yeah, the snap
There's a
lockdown
snap
there,
lockdown
and whether that then causes issues with games, and there was chat about postponing the round altogether.
that
but
doesn't happen, Sean. It doesn't happen.
I think you've said that multiple times, and in the end, I ended up being right, and they have done the opposite. So
When? They haven't had an AFL game canned
not
this
for
year.
AFL, but in other instances where I've gone like, no, they're not going to do this.
Maybe the IPL was
You big time curse that. So.
I think I was sitting here saying, "Do you know how much money it makes to fucking postpone it?" Burp, next minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geelong's heavy favourites, $1.10. GWS are out $7. Lions 36.5. Overs 148.5. To note, Cam Guthrie plays 200 games.
Yeah,
Yep. So
Big
shout out
Cam.
him.
a legitimate All Australian this week. This year, I should say.
Thank you, Conley.
All right, the big one, the one that's on everyone's lips, 1:45 Saturday afternoon. The mighty Carlton Blues take on the Gold Coast Suns. If we just fucking put away North Melbourne like we should have, they'd be in 8th right now. They would be in 8th. They had a cracking game against St Kilda last Friday night. Consistency for both sides. St Kilda is the least consistent side in the AFL,
big time.
and Carlton seems
Big time.
to be nipping at their heels for that role. Harry Mackay, great, kick 5. Sam Walsh, unbelievable, kick 3 from the middle. It's pretty much the usual suspects for the Blues, and great to see Charlie Curnow back. His first game since 2019. Didn't have a huge impact, but kicked a sausage roll, and I think he played pretty much in the forward line the whole time, and maybe took a little bit of a heat away from Harry Mackay there. And some nice sort of efforts from some of the younger / less experienced guys. Yeah, O'Brien was in the side. He played pretty good. Paddy Dow had one of his better outings for the Blues. We've spoken about their favourable run home. I really think that North Melbourne game is going to. I've just got a feeling it's going to bite them in the ass. They should win this game against a struggling Suns team, but then they get Port Adelaide and GWS, and the last time they played the Giants, they lost pretty convincingly.
Yeah. I need convincing. I've picked Gold Coast Suns with no confidence.
Ooh, Suns.
Yeah.
Any justification there?
None. Essentially, I looked at both and was like, I don't want to pick either. So I've gone.
Oh, they both lose.
Yeah, so I've gone with
The
Suns.
Suns have fallen off a cliff. I think they got destroyed by Melbourne. They got spanked by Brisbane.
Yep.
Look, two great sides. And then going back
I
from
don't know.
there.
Maybe I'm just picking them in spite at this point.
3 weeks ago, they played the Western Bulldogs and they lost by 2
Spite
kicks.
for the Blues,
They lost by 2 kicks. So let's not forget that. So they haven't won for 3 weeks, and they had that 1 point victory against the Giants 4 weeks ago. I don't know. I always talk about it with this Suns team. They just they get everything given to them. They get the draft picks and
I've got the talent.
all the help from the AFL, and they just go nowhere.
Yep.
So maybe I got my navy blue glasses on. Must win. If Carlton lose this, then you can put a line through them.
Maybe that's why I picked them.
Just to piss you off. Can have another Carlton rant next week of it, as per last week. Just do or die for the Blues, and Gold Coast will be planning Mad Monday at the moment.
Yep.
What's your tips and odds there, please, Mugs?
Yep, I've gone Blues as well. Sean, Smokey, $4, Suns.
That's very smoky.
That's very smoky. That's a certain still smoke, that one.
Yeah, Carlton are favourites, $1.25.
Sean
at
and
the
Mary
moment.
smoked that one.
Lions 24.5.
It's a big difference.
Total match points 166.5.
2 points there.
Richmond?
Richmond and North Melbourne. We spoke about North Melbourne. Weren't bad against Geelong down in Tasmania, and obviously knocked off the Blues 2 weeks ago.
All you got to say is this is not in Tasmania. Well, currently it's at the MCG. If they're going to lock down, maybe they move it. But it's currently not in Tasmania. That's all you really need to tell me. That means that they're not even a chance. It's going to be Richmond.
Who tipped Freo last week? I'm pretty sure I tipped Richmond, because Freo got that win at Optus Stadium, and Richmond are really, they're in that log jam too. Both the AFL and the NRL, awesome last few games in terms of
Macca did.
finals implications. Was it just Macca?
Yeah, just the NRL.
So we all went we all went Richmond.
Yep.
So that's a On The Esky code special for you. Just having a look at the ladder there. Brisbane are in 6th on 48 points. It's exactly the same as the rugby league, where you'd imagine the top 6 are all
They've been struggling too.
all done and dusted. Then you got West Coast. You got both West teams, the Eagles and Dockers, sitting in 7th and 8th. 40 points for the Eagles and 36 for the Dockers. Then you got GWS on 34, and then you've got Essendon, Richmond, Carlton, St Kilda, all 32, and all mathematically a really good shot of making the 8. So fascinating last 3 weeks here.
Yeah, well, we talked, I think, early to midpoint of the year about, say, the 4 and how there's possibly 2 to kind of come in there. It's definitely opened up. I think with teams having to travel and kind of go all over the place and trying to make sure games happen, it's probably thrown a few of the teams off and it's made it a bit harder.
Early on in the year, we got a few of the teams. We thought the Bulldogs and Geelong would be really good. No one saw Melbourne playing as well as they had, and everyone sort of had Port there or thereabouts. We had Brisbane up there as they've dropped off a little bit the last few weeks, but we also had West Coast and Richmond being right up there, and Richmond are looking like they might sneak in by the skin of their teeth, and West Coast
go win a few games, and a game like this is one they definitely need to win.
Definitely. Again, same as Carlton, season's on the line. If they lose a game here that they shouldn't, you can put a line through them.
Nice.
I've tipped Richmond.
Yep. Yeah.
What are you doing? You watching porno down there?
No, I was thinking of changing.
Do it. What do they pay?
All right.
They're very short. They're very, very short. The Kangas here, I think.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've gone Kangas.
Big dick monks. I like that. You and Valandis can go have a cock off.
Monks and Horsemen, eh?
That's a surprise.
What's the odds?
Tigers are favourites, $1.46. Kangas are out at $2.73 at the moment.
The Kangaroos have really been
much better in the last
They've been
month.
much more impressive the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks than they were early on.
How many of those games have they played in Tasmania?
Well, let's have a look. So Hobart on the weekend, they lost by 20 to Geelong. They smashed Carlton the week before that. Don't need to talk about that.
Where was that?
Victoria.
It was Victoria.
Then they weren't bad against Essendon. That was up in the Gold Coast. They beat West Coast at West Coast.
Yeah, that was surprising, that one.
So they actually, and they weren't bad in that loss to the Bulldogs before that. So they've played fuck all in Tasmania. It was 6 weeks ago that they beat Gold Coast down there at Blundstone. So the last 6 weeks they've won 2 and they haven't been embarrassed in any of them.
Well, the
Something to build
the
with.
line's a little bit telling as well. So 14.5.
Yeah, so
it's
they got Richmond as a strong favourite, but they think that it'll be close.
That's it. And thanks to unofficial sponsor Sportsbet, Richmond has lost each of their last 5 games as favourite.
Wow, that is big. They've been really stinking it up. Oh God, I hope they finish 9th.
No, with no Dusty, yeah.
But the memes, Richmond, like nature's back where it was.
They've got excuses at least.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, do you want to talk about the showdown?
Yeah, it's a showdown. The mighty Crom is taking on Koshy's dick lickers. No, actually, I quite like Port. So Adelaide and Port Adelaide take on each other. 7:40 Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval. We hadn't heard about it for fucking months, and now the prison bar chat is back.
Yeah. They're back bitching about it and like, can they wear their prison bars for the showdown? I think the AFL's just like, fuck off, I got bigger problems to worry about with COVID.
Yeah.
We're not talking about jerseys at this point.
Thoughts here, boys? Port still...
They're the bullies.
Yeah.
They're
The Cromer, no text.
No
Cromer
text.
lower than them.
flat track bullies.
I've picked Port.
Port are fourth. They haven't been anyone above them.
Yeah.
But they're fourth.
Yeah.
I think Port win this pretty convincingly, I would have thought, and I imagine the odds reflect that much.
Yep, that's it. So Port are favourites $1.10. The Crom are out at $7 at the moment. Line's 37.5.
Big line.
Yep.
Total game points 160. Yeah, Crum
Good day at the Oval.
Crum don't win this, I don't think, but maybe they might keep it respectable. This is a really interesting game.
Yes.
St Kilda and Sydney, 7:40 Saturday night, Marvel Stadium. St Kilda again. It's do or die for all these teams that are on in that logjam on 32 points. They can't afford to drop any games here. And St Kilda's got the tallest ask out of them in that Carlton have Gold Coast and Richmond have the Kangas. They play a really good team in Sydney who have actually moved up into fifth. They've leapfrogged Brisbane. This is. I think this is season done for St Kilda. The way that they're that the Swans have been playing. They
were cold last week, so they'll be hot this week.
Oh yeah, hard to pick him. Buddy Franklin got off.
I was going to ask you that question. Did Buddy get off? And I believe that was the case.
Yep.
What's his 1,000 track going?
Monkey's bringing it up.
Yeah.
So he's on 958.
985.
985.
Dyslexic on this side and a dyslexic on that side. I was like, fuck, that's
a long way.
He's going to kick way more goals.
He's going backwards.
They took goals off him.
But 15.
15
goals.
There you go. 85.
got that one.
100 minus 85 is 15.
Yeah.
You'll hear it here on the Esky. Very, very doable. Very, very doable.
Well, 15 to go with how many rounds?
Three.
So.
But
And of course finals. They'll play one final.
finals
So
game.
with 4. So yeah.
So it's still right around that three to 4 a game mark.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're getting there. And I think that some people kind of chat, letting him off, allowing him to keep chasing this.
Protected species.
Yeah, protected species.
Yeah.
And that's the one story you want is that massive story of Buddy getting his 1,000 this year, because then that'll be a big thing they can push and sell, etc. Maybe a bit of protection of protected species, as you say.
They got there's
blue
gropers, great white sharks, Lance Franklin. Protected.
Well, if it's a close game, surely not, right?
What do you mean?
You're going to let... So, like, if St Kilda's like...
We're talking about last week's incident.
Yeah, I have no idea where Monkey's going.
And the AFL.
So who'd you pick, Peps? I had Sydney.
Yeah, right. Listen.
We're on fire tonight. I think the Swans win this, and I think that's St Kilda's season done, which is a real shame. They went really close to knocking off West Coast and Port Adelaide a few weeks ago. The talent I feel like it's there. It's at St Kilda. It's just all about some consistency, isn't it? But I think they're going in the right direction. And Jack Steele, my boy, oh boy, every single week he is a fucking weapon.
Yeah. He's an absolute weapon.
Yeah, I think they're going in the right direction. I think Max King will only get better. It's obviously 2021. Look, they'll believe, but my thoughts are that this might be the nail in the coffin for them. But they're definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, agree. Talk about that Hawthorn and the Pies. Oh, Max, sorry. Yeah, it's
Oz and tips? Yeah.
We need
Twice in 1 week.
We need a little soundbite for every time Monks needs to go fuck himself. You can just play it.
That's it.
Some monkey screaming.
Maybe we don't need to download any. I can just do them with my mouth. I can do the monkey. I got the and then when the crying kookaburra.
So we've also just had the winner in the 400 meter race in the Olympics as well. Bahamas winning the gold.
Yeah, and Colombia, Anthony Zambrano
coming second.
44.08. Marks, I'm gonna put you to work here. Michael Johnson's Olympic record for the 400. We're
43 seconds, 0.08.
43.08. Yeah, I think that's spot on actually off the top of your head.
Yeah, because I think I saw it.
Did you see it?
I'm pretty sure that was what it was.
That's one of those ones as well where it's like, fuck, man.
But he just ran 40.
No, it's not Michael Johnson. It's
it's
sorry, that was a long one. It's the South African fella, Van Niekerk.
Yeah. So he just ran 43.95, I think, to win that.
So breaking 44 is very good.
Is a good run.
Yeah. Wade Van Niekerk, 43.03.
03. Yeah, that's what I said. 43.03.
I think he said 08.
Fuck you.
Check the tape.
Well, I don't.
Dyslexic.
I don't know. No.
3s and 8s. They look really similar.
No, I don't have my glasses on, so to me it looks similar.
I just can't talk, but I don't have my glasses and I'm
I can't see, so
He's got everything going for him.
big
pretty
time.
much.
So back to the
Catch at the end
AFL.
of the table.
I've gone Swans as well. They are favourites, $1.37. St Kilda are out at $3.
His kick on in the last 100 here. Like he kicks on and just goes.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And he's just pulling away. Like the others, like just pull. 400. So such a fucked length.
tough distance, isn't it? Shout out to Colombia. I can't imagine they've produced too many world class sprinters.
To run it in under 44 seconds as well.
And another event where the Americans don't take the gold on the track. It's very.
They get a no. I don't think they get a bronze either. They finished they finished 4th and 5th.
That Kerwin James fella, he's won a gold medal. I'm pretty sure as well. That from Grenada, the bronze medalist there. Bit of fun one for you there. I think Grenada's would be less than 100,000 people. It's unbelievable some of these island nations that they can just produce ridiculous sprinters. Karani, sorry, not Kerwin. Karani.
Cherry,
he ran a PB.
He ran a PB as well.
Poor bloke, you run a PB and you miss out by 200ths of a second on a medal.
Yep.
Oh, well, left it all out there. That's so far. So
3.85. Best.
Did we get we got the odds, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, so
That's
now
right. Out.
Hawthorn
We're moving on.
Pies. We can move on.
Hawthorn Pies, let's go quick. Neither team playing finals this year.
Not even a sniff. I've gone Hawthorn.
Really? That'll be interesting. I'll go the Pies here. In Tasmania as well. So
Bet the unders.
Yeah, bet the unders. Monks?
What are the unders? If it's 100, we might be in trouble.
They're always like 140. Yeah.
I back the Pies as well. They are favourites $1.71. Hawthorn are out at $2.14 at the moment.
Oh, look at this is the bet of the week. Forget about Warriors plus 9.5.
Yeah.
The line is 5.5.
Yeah.
Total match points is 158.
Bet on that. Unders all day.
I'll put a multi on. I need to do it because I always give out these tips and I don't actually see how they end up going. So
You'll end up making On The Esky profitable if you do this.
Given my punting history,
I think you've just given it the curse.
we might go into the red. Well, actually, I suppose with the equipment, we still are in the red. And the beers. What's worse than red?
Liquid gold here. Bankruptcy, I think, is worse than red.
To be honest, that was Monk, you might have this anyway. It's an overhead. It's something that you've got to. I would have spent money on it anyway.
It's a sunk cost.
Sunk cost.
Sunk
Yes.
cost.
There you go.
Yeah. The beer's a sunk cost.
Yeah.
You're going to spend it anyway.
Tax write-offs?
I don't know about that. It's essential to our business.
We'll talk about that after the recording.
Shout out to the listeners. Thank you. I think we're made about $30 off this podcast, so really, really appreciate it all.
We love it. So let's finish the AFL off. We got the Western Bulldogs who didn't play last week because no fans, or was that the week before?
No, they played.
I know, but there was no fans, so it doesn't count.
I'm with you. I miss you, Macca.
Yeah.
Baby, come back.
But they take on the Bombers this week, and Bombers, like St Kilda, one of those teams I think they've got a lot of really good talent coming through.
Young
very
talent.
young. And locked these blokes up for long term as well. They're going to be around there, around that club. Do I see them winning this game? No.
No, I don't.
Bulldogs by a lot.
I think they make it. They make a good game of it. The Bombers Swans game last week was actually really good. Quite high scoring.
Yep.
And they only just went down. Thing is with the Bombers, they were a few weeks ago. They were really looking like they were going to be a top 8 side, and they've dropped. And they haven't lost anyone that they shouldn't really lose to. But they've lost to the Swans. They've lost to the Giants. And they sort of just got home against the Kangaroos 3 weeks ago. What are the odds here? I've gone the Dogs. I think they'll be too strong.
Dogs will be heavy favourites.
I think Essendon keep it respectable.
Yeah, they got to build towards next year at this point.
Yeah. So I've gone Dogs as well. The Judas I am. They are favourites. $1.24. Essendon are out at $4.10 at the moment. We've got a line of 24.5 and total match points of 168.
Quite high. Although I think this is number 1 and number 2 point scoring teams in the league.
Yeah.
I was thinking, 80 and a bit for both of them. I think they'll do that.
So the Bulldogs are far, far ahead of anyone on 1,809 points, and then the Bombers 1,656
So is that a 9-point average?
that they've just dropped the fourth. Sorry, they're behind Brisbane and Sydney for points. So you've got the highest scoring team in the league versus the fourth highest scoring.
Yeah, with the way Bombers play D as well, with their flowing kind of game and like the ball moving around a lot, they can leak some points. So Bulldogs like to score points.
What was that totals?
168.
Don't mind that as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
So let's put a little Esky bet on this week. And the last
13 plus in the NRL and the unders in Tasmania.
Every game. No, we thought and I hope we do get it. I hope we get some really nice matchups in the NRL this week.
Yeah, if you're going to bet on the plus 13, this is not the week for it.
No,
because hopefully some of these games will be actually close. We'll finish off with Fremantle versus Brisbane.
Yeah, and there's a Monday night
There's a
game
Monday
as well.
night,
Yeah,
yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Caught me there. How good.
Yeah.
There's Monday night game.
Yes,
But
the
before,
Melbourne game.
Before Monday night, Freo take on Brisbane 5:10 Sunday night at Optus Stadium. Freo had that really gutsy win last week against the Tigers, and the Lions are on a little bit of a downward trend.
If they hadn't played the Suns last week,
how many did they win in that?
They were down a fair bit against the Suns, and then they roared back in the second half.
Turned it on.
Got an easy, not easy win, but a substantial win to finish that off. But
and then obviously losing to Hawthorn the week just gone, and then lost to Richmond the week before that. So they're one from their last three. And St Kilda the week before that, one from their last four. And then, so one from their last four. They went on that massive win streak, didn't they?
They're in a bit of a rough patch at the moment.
Yeah.
They had to beat the Suns, and they started off so poorly. They were down, and then they came back.
What, did you catch any of that Hawthorn game last week? So, because that's a big boil over.
Yeah, it was a big boil over. No, I didn't. In the end.
They scored 1 point in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Which is...
Look at how they come home. So this was just inconsistency. This is St Kilda's season, but in a game. Brisbane first quarter 1 point, second quarter 21, third quarter 8 points, fourth quarter 50.
Yeah.
Wow,
Huge fourth quarter.
isn't it? But Hawthorn held on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were too far in front at that point. Finished up, 15 points ahead?
8. Close.
I thought it was slightly over double digits. But yeah. Anyway, do I think Brisbane win this game? I have tipped them. Not confident, though.
I think they should. They should put away Freo.
Talent-wise, and where Freo is dealing with a few injuries, with Fife gone for the year,
and no Walters.
and Darcy managing his knee.
Say again?
12?
That's 12.
Yeah.
Quick math.
So my guess ended up being closer than your wrong fact check.
Well, yeah. It's on someone else.
I can understand where you got the 8 from.
It's someone else's screen. I couldn't see it, man.
So we got Brisbane here. We got Brisbane. Monks, who you picked?
I'm pretty sure I've gone Brisbane as well.
Yeah.
Don't need to check that. They are favourites $1.60. Freo are out at $2.35. Actually, did
$2.35 at home.
Yeah, I did pick the Lions.
Margin and points?
So we got a line of 8.5.
Fuck all.
Yeah,
Very
total
close.
points is 149 as well.
Freo's quite a good defensive side. Yeah, I don't know. I believe
Brisbane can be a bit
that's
stinky.
not going in the Esky multi.
No, we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one alone.
That'll wrap up our AFL chat. Let's go into
Did
some
we want to
NFL.
talk about West Coast and Melbourne?
You've got the Melbourne game.
It's wigging me out. It's a Monday night game, a scheduled Monday night game in the AFL. Sorry.
Yes.
West Coast take on Melbourne, Optus Stadium, Monday night.
Yep.
A big challenge here for West Coast with the D's coming into town, but it's out west.
They did come off a big loss with Collingwood as well last week.
Yeah.
Luke Edwards, the young fella's in. So.
Two of us tipped that Collingwood. Do you guys, anyone tip Collingwood? Because I did.
Last week?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Let me do a quick check for you. I can
Talk
tell
about
you.
too much sport here, don't we? The Olympics just throws a massive spanner in the works.
It does.
Because I've been watching a lot
It's like 24/7 at the
Yeah,
moment.
and it's just
It was you and me,
much-
Peppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good tips there. West Coast are so garbage in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
West at home, though.
this game
different question.
is at home against the Melbourne Demons. Massive game here for finals implications. With the D's trying to cement their a top 4 spot, and West Coast probably just going to miss out on the top 4, but a really good chance. Well, I say really good. They're 8 points behind Brisbane. They are a chance to try and get a home final. If they finish 7th, which is looking most likely, and then they've got to play away, surely they're one and done. You'd think. But
Yeah. West Coast pretenders. So
blue and yellow teams, pretenders.
Mm-hmm.
Blue and yellow, Dave
Big time.
Grolls.
big time.
Big time.
I'm picking D's in this.
I'm picking D's here too.
Can't get past the D's. They are favourites, $1.35. West Coast are out at $3.25 at the moment. We've got a line of 16.5. And total match points is 142. So
I like the overs there.
Yeah, that's. I agree with you, baby.
that line
Seems
seems,
a bit
a little
low.
bit short, I would have thought.
West Coast and West Coast. though.
Yeah, they're different. They're different.
Yeah.
beasts
They
out
bet.
there.
They bet
Different
different.
beast out there, and Melbourne just dropping those games to some lowly teams this year. I've just got a big question mark around them. I've got the Dogs and Cats as tier 1, and then the D's as a definite tier 2.
Are they third on the ladder
team.
at the
I
moment?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, West Coast and in Melbourne, we'd pick Melbourne 100% on this, but in West Coast, you
Yeah, you do about it, and they always seem to score a few points. But they've also lost some games at home against Richmond and St Kilda that you wouldn't expect them normally to lose at home. So it should be a good game here. And that will wrap up our
That'll
AFL.
wrap up AFL. Monks.
The Monday night game really done me here.
Before we go international, you give me a cricket score. You can probably close that one. And
Looks like it's lunch.
Yeah, it could be lunchtime.
Might be able to bring one up on the
Yeah, well, there you go. 97 for 1.
so they've lost one. Who's
They've
out?
lost one wicket.
Who's out?
We have lost
Sharma. Sharma goes for 36. Ollie Robinson. He's got him with a 12-year-old tweet. They'll come back and get you.
It just swung right in there.
That's right. It moved 3 feet. It was in those days. It was okay, and then it's just really just swung and. What do we got? Caught Sam Curran, bowled Ollie Robinson.
Well, while that's at lunch, Monks, do you want to memorise that and bring up whatever's on the other channel for the Olympics? Because they're just showing highlights at the moment on the main channel. Oh, we've got the basketball. Where's France ahead?
France leads Slovenia.
Yeah.
It's sports overload. Isn't it?
There's like 40 channels of different sports for Olympics where you just flick between them. We've only got 2.
It's nuts, man. It's like getting a drug addict and just going, we got the heroin here and the cocaine's here and the MDMA's here and they got the mushrooms here, the acid's there, and they're just going, ah!
Yeah, and it's all free. Go for it.
That's right.
Crazy. So what are they down? Is by 7.
Yeah.
7 points, France lead, nearly the end of the third quarter. So in for an entertaining fourth.
Yes. So let's talk about some international sports, and we'll kick off with the NFL before we get into the NBA. As we mentioned last week, Aaron Rodgers showed up to training camp, and they did trade for Randall Cobb straight after. Cobb.
Cobb. C-O-B-B, one
Cobb.
syllable.
Cobb.
What's he on a fucking carb diet?
No, I was just saying it Australian, bro. Cobb.
I'll say Cobb.
It's still
Cobb.
Cobb.
The accent has got nothing to do with anything. There's no
It's Randall
R in it.
Cobber.
Cobber.
Cobber. There you go.
Cobber. So Cobber.
Aussie Cobber.
So Cobber has been traded, of course, back to Green Bay. They did some interviews with him. He said he loved being back. It's kind of like being out of prison for him, was his quote. And then Gunter Kuntz came out and
Shit the Kunst.
yeah, very much said the only reason we traded for him was to please Aaron, to make him happy.
That is wild, man. For him to come out and say, we're just doing it to keep the quarterback happy. If you're Randall Cobb and your GM saying that, you're like, excuse me.
He said that there's absolutely no reason we're looking at this trade otherwise than besides keeping Aaron happy.
It's a fucking shit show at the moment there in Wisconsin. Like, boy, oh boy. For we spoke at length about it last week. I don't want to harp on it too much. But for your press conference of your starting quarterback who's sort of hasn't been showing up to come in and just drop bombs last week, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess there in Green Bay. So,
but all accounts though, it's been pretty quiet coming out of training camp. Or they've just
I'm sure
gone to work.
The players don't have any dramas with each other, and that's encouraging.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a New York Giants.
Shit.
What the fuck happened here? There was an all-in brawl in Giants practice, a full padded practice, which they only get, 14 of them we're talking about?
Oh, yes.
10?
Barely any, but over the preseason. So in the next month leading up to the first games in September.
Yeah. So it was their first full padded, full contact practice. And Jabril Peppers put a slightly late shot on their new signing Corey Clement, and Evan Ingram took offence to it. The thing is,
two long-term.
Well, this is guys that have been at the Peppers has been there a few years now, and Ingram's been there since he was drafted. So this isn't like two guys that are coming in and it's their first padded practice. No. These are guys that have been teammates, in the locker room together for years.
Yeah. And
very, very concerning.
Yeah, it sounds like Daniel Jones got caught in the middle of it and ended up at the bottom of the pile.
He's okay.
He's, of course, okay. But Joe Judge, the head coach, was absolutely pissed.
He was livid.
Then made him run gases, made him do push-ups because they weren't trying hard enough in the gases.
Yeah.
Really, really got stuck on me. He sent all the coaches away. He just had all the players line up and he just took them to task.
Yep.
Did not want any of that. So
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, there seems to be some problems over there because they've had three
retirees.
Three retirees. They had three guys sign and retire.
So who were they? That was Todd Davis, the
inside linebacker. Joe Looney, the centre guard, who signed Sunday and retired a couple of days later.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I got a deal. I'm sort of coming towards the end of my career. Goes there for 2 days and is like, oh, this is a mess. I'm out.
Yeah, and then Kelvin Benjamin was the other one.
Benjamin. What was the go? His playing weight was probably a 240. He was always a big receiver. Yeah. And they're like, we need you in shape. And he rocked up at like 268 or something.
Yeah, I think he had to be under 260 for training camp weight. And he showed up over. But I think they were going to let him pass and let it slide. And then.
And play tight end.
Yeah. And
There's no receivers that big ever.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm retiring. I've had enough of this. So, they had a bunch of guys retiring.
It's a bit sad, the Kelvin Benjamin story, because I'm pretty sure he made a Pro Bowl, didn't he?
Him and Cam, when they first came into Panthers, they were electric. But
and then just has done nothing. He went to Buffalo, did nothing there.
I'm
sure he made a Pro Bowl back when.
I think he put too much weight on to then play wide receiver and then couldn't back it up. Really didn't make the transition to the tight end. Unlike Tim Tebow, if you haven't seen how jacked he is and he's catching touchdown passes with Trevor Lawrence in training camp.
I've seen a few memes. We might have spoken about it on the podcast before, but if Trevor Lawrence throws a touchdown to Tim Tebow this year, turn off ESPN for a week.
Well, they're doing it in training camp and it's already all over ESPN. They're already talking about it. So.
America's golden child, Tim Tebow.
Do you reckon he's actually going to make the team?
I think for them, in just terms of selling jerseys, it might be worth him making the 53-man side.
Well, who else have they got playing tight end? Is it Josh Oliver? And I don't even think Josh Oliver's there anymore. Like,
if I know.
I don't think they've got many options at tight end.
The Jacksonville Jaguars depth chart.
But as we mentioned, so we'll find out how he goes preseason wise, because all the first round of preseason games, with there only being 3 games, starts this weekend.
Yeah, good.
So we've got that coming up. Max, what have we got there? Let's Kelvin Benjamin. So career stats. Just scroll up. He did have 1 year at Kansas City as well. Yeah. He's rookie.
He didn't play a game.
Yeah, rookie year.
Oh no! Actually, scroll up.
That's postseason.
That's postseason.
Go over. Yeah, rookie year.
He played 3 games at Kansas City and caught 2 balls.
Yeah, his rookie year and then his third year. He blew his ACL out, I think, in that second year.
That's sad.
He did come back in that third year, but
yeah, that rookie year, 73 receptions, 1,008 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, Carolina also made the Super Bowl run in 2015, the year he didn't play. So
So I don't think he ever made the Pro Bowl.
I'm talking out of my ass. That's why we got a fact checker here. Nope, nah. And those numbers you wouldn't have thought.
It was a good year.
A good year, but never. Never really lived up to the hype. He was a first rounder as well.
Misses out.
Tight ends for Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Tyler Davis, Ben Elfson, Luke Farrell, Chris Manhertz, James O'Shaughnessy, Tim Tebow.
A whole lot of nothing.
That Shaughnessy, he'll probably be the starter, I'd imagine. But then, outside of that, who knows?
Yep. Yeah, if you want to talk about Riggs, go see what Tim Tebow is looking like at the moment. Riggs.
Do you want to run us through any injuries and new deals?
The Carson Wentz and then the Quentin Nelson injury is really unfortunate because they both have the exact same injury to
what was it?
Ankle injury, I believe.
Syndesmosis.
I can't remember if it was syndesmosis or it was the Mark's can find it out. But they both need surgery and they both have the same recovery time of 5 to 12 weeks. So the Colts no longer have a quarterback. They now got to go find out who's going to play quarterback.
I think Jason Eason is the quarterback.
Jacob
Eason,
maybe.
I think I did have it somewhere here. Yep.
You're close enough.
Yeah, Jacob.
By all accounts, doing well in training camp. So that's at least good for them, but not the Carson Wentz rebuild MVP project chat that they're kind of considering.
Yeah, no, true.
And every Colts fan, like Pat, of course, Pat McAfee's like, hey, send me in, coach. I'll be able. They also talked to Philip Rivers. Would he come out of retirement? He says probably not till November, December when I finish up my high school coaching gig.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help them now. That's half a season gone by that point. At which point, hopefully, Wentz is back for you.
You'd want to hope so, yeah.
But a bit unfortunate for Colts, and I think the fantasy gurus have kind of reflected that all major fantasy players for the Colts team have been downgraded in their average draft position. So maybe a few steals there, but it doesn't. Their quarterback at the moment not looking like a great pick. Great, having anyone think great there, and especially with Quentin Nelson, their best player, also out with a very similar injury. Talk about coincidence, but that's super unlucky. I feel bad for Colts fans.
Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. So Wentz is also it's an interesting one. So a lot of the stories is that it's a old injury from his high school football days. So it's not something that's necessarily occurred during practice or anything.
So we're talking like a flare-up, or we're talking like a...
Don't know the full story. So
need surgery and whatever it is.
Yeah, so he's going in for surgery for a broken bone in his foot. So apparently it's just been floating around.
True. Could have just been a loose bone.
Foot, and it's just starting to cause him a bit more pain, so it's fix it now sort of thing.
About Quentin
don't
Nelson
know what any of
something
that
similar, needs ankle surgery as well.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks. Sucks for Colts. Feel bad for them.
Not a great start to this pre-season.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. There's been a whole bunch of other signings happening across the league as teams kind of working out training camp, goes back and forth. Some more than note signings. Justin Houston, of course, joining the Ravens.
He must be old.
He's getting up there, yeah. I think he was Kansas last.
Yep.
And then the other one was Nick Chubb getting a nice big extension. I think 3 to 4 years and $20+ million-ish dollars. So
Houston's only 32.
It's still up there.
It is. I was thinking 35 in my head for some reason. He's very accomplished. He's been at the Colts. That's he was at Kansas. That's where he did all his damage. That's where he did all his damage.
Yes.
And then at the Colts.
Yeah.
He's got 97.5 career sacks. You'd imagine joins 100 club if he stays healthy there at Baltimore.
Well, Monks has just found OBJ's invested $1.8 million on diamond encrusted teeth. Well, I guess if you can, you can.
If you got the money, you got the money.
That's it.
You could throw 10% of that at a up and coming sports podcast.
Majority owner right there
at OBJ.
That's it. Sorry, just the chat about Chubb just reminded me of OBJ.
Yeah.
And that news.
That is ridiculous money, isn't it?
Crazy.
It's like fucking 4 Lamborghinis in the teeth.
Yeah. So as mentioned, preseason games coming up. That's probably the main news where
I don't understand how that costs $1.8 million, man.
So you got,
it's just how massive the diamond is.
looks
It's
like-
the diamond the size of your tooth, and he's got 2 of them.
Yeah, I guess.
well, it's on the other side as well. So I'm guessing if it's just top drawer, that's 4. If it's top and bottom drawer,
13
that's
carat.
8.
Who's that rapper? Didn't some rapper put fucking a $5 million diamond in his head? You seen that?
Well, what, like his vision or some shit with
In
a
his
diamond in his
Google that-
forehead?
Google that shit. It's one of them mumble rappers, and it's like a $4 or $5 million dollar diamond, and it's in his forehead. Yeah, $24 million diamond.
Implanted in his forehead.
$24 million. Yeah.
When was
This is
2 months
year.
ago?
A few months. Yeah.
It's a pink rock. It's 10, almost 11 carats.
$24 million diamond in the middle of little Uzi's first head. The comments are funny. Like,
I guarantee he has to walk around with a bodyguard everywhere.
well, people are like, people will snatch a chain, but you got to decapitate this man to get that diamond.
So he did have to get it removed.
Oh, they got it removed.
It doesn't say why though. He couldn't trust himself not to lose it.
Yeah,
Fair point. I lose everything.
it's probably not like either scar tissue trying to like heal over whatever the wound is you tried to.
Well,
put
that's it.
in
Like,
there. It's
I mean,
nothing really.
Not
attaching
reading
it.
it to it too much. Yeah, what is it attached to? Did I glue it to his skull or something?
I have no fucking
no
idea.
idea.
I don't know if I could. Thank you for the segue, Peps.
Yeah. I thought you guys might have seen that. I don't know, man. It's a strange time that we live in.
Yeah. So that's probably the main NFL news for this week. Training camps, preseason games. Hopefully not too many injuries over the weekend.
I'm going to show you the video of this time.
Little Uzi Vert. Little bit of Uzi Vert chat on the Esky here. Beauty is pain. No, pain is me watching this video. So it's just him showing his bling, and it's a fucking huge rock.
Yeah.
Huge rock.
I don't get why that's worth $24 million.
It's just some shiny shit.
I'd love 24 houses, I think, over that, to be honest.
So before we get into the NBA basketball, the France versus Slovenia game has
78 apiece.
tied up late in the fourth.
So Slovenia's been coming back. So this is going to go down to the wire. And the Boomers obviously getting the loser of this game for the bronze medal.
Man, I'm worried.
I'm big time worried. This is
I so hope for a bronze, but
stinks of another fourth, doesn't it? Hey, we led America. We led America. And before that, we were playing lights out basketball. So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
Go Boomers.
Anyway, so NBA, massive trade window. Big winners probably already. Lakers.
Massive. They got
Westbrook.
They got Westbrook. They got Brody.
Yeah.
They got
Dwight Howard's coming back.
Dwight Howard's coming back.
Nice big to help if AD misses any time again.
Yeah, and he was a pretty handy backup this year at Philadelphia. Do you see his he Instagrammed and he was like big shout out to the people of Philadelphia. Look this one up. Dwight Howard Instagram. I'll miss you. Thanks for having me, etc. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then the end of the tweet and bend those knees. Dwight Howard is giving out shooting advice to Ben Simmons, poor bloke. I don't know. Copping it from Big Dwight.
Yeah. What's interesting though, Ben Simmons still on the 76ers roster. So
yeah, and the trade period's only just started, so be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah. So Melo also joined the Lakers. So the Lakers signing all the old timers, really.
Yeah, well,
I think their average age is over 30 for the club.
Well, Howard's 35. I think Carmelo's 37, and
LeBron's not young.
and he's 36, going on 37, and Westbrook's 32.
Yep.
So no spring chickens there.
Well, and I think AD's 29.
So they've gone ring this year. Like
Yeah.
they,
Well, LeBron's been saying, hey, you're all talking about how old we are, but just look how legit we are for basketball players. They're definitely chasing ring, and they need to compete with the Brooklyn Nets, the super team over Over there.
with
Excuse me.
the Paddy Mills Nets.
Yes, the Paddy Mills.
Go Nets. So that's pretty much, thanks for having me, kind of Philadelphia City of Brotherly Love. Thank you to the 76er staff. We'll always be family. And Ben, bend your knees.
Yeah, and I want my parade, damn it.
Laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji.
I'm not sure of the hashtag, considering he did win a comp last year. So, anyway.
I don't know. Maybe he wanted a parade in Philadelphia.
Yeah, or they couldn't get one last year because of COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
They're like, oh, actually, I think the Lakers did had something to me anyway because they're just like, we don't give a fuck. Anyway, go back to the notes, Max. So as mentioned, Paddy Mills, he was kind of the big news for Australia.
But Jock Landale.
That was also the other one.
Got a contract. That's with the Spurs, isn't it? So.
Not replacing Paddy, but, switching out with Paddy there.
not really a like-for-like player there. The Spurs, very, very strange. They're going like a full clean out with DeMar DeRozan obviously leaving and Paddy going. So Jock Landale, joining them. And I wonder how much the Olympics had to do with him getting a deal. Yeah, showcasing, being a starter, plays good both ways.
Yep.
And the big man's landed himself an NBA contract. That's huge. Just sort of been kicking around in the NBA. I think he's been 2-time NBL MVP. And yeah, he's going over to the big one. So wishing him all the best over there.
Yes. The draft was also
Massive week. So much happens in a week in sport. It's actually fucked.
Yeah. The NBA draft happened, of course, being Australians picking up an Australian, actually getting picked 6th.
Massive.
So Josh Gidley getting picked 6th.
Giddy.
Sorry.
Kirk Gidley plays for Newcastle.
I know. All the Gidley brothers back in the day.
Used to. So he's the highest Aussie to be drafted since Ben Simmons back in 2016.
Yes. I was going to say, I thought Bogut was the highest one, going 1. But
6. Yes. Yeah. Well, Simmons went 1 as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. 18 years of age. Killed it this year for the Adelaide 76ers.
Playing the NBL.
Yeah, playing in the NBL. Turned down offers to go over to play college ball this year, I believe, to play in the NBL. Killed it. And
doing the same thing that Ball did the year before. Like
that's right.
It's a really, I love it for the NBL. That's become a good kind of pathway. It's like go to college or go to a professional outfit, get paid a little bit, and then you
showcase your skills there.
Exactly, and then you get drafted. So, yeah, that's a huge get for us. Another young Aussie getting picked, and hopefully will help us as the Boomers finally win a fucking medal in the boxing.
Might go better than a 4th.
3 more years.
Yeah, no, we can win a medal. So Cade Cunningham obviously going 1. No surprises there. To the Pistons. He's going to be allowed to wear number 2. I forget the player, but it was a retired jersey, and he asked, "Can I wear it?" And the old timer has passed away, but his daughter said, "Yep, you're the face of this franchise now."
They're 100% rebuilding at this point. They stunk this year.
They've been bad for a little while now, haven't they?
It was Chuck Daly.
Thanks for that, mate. Jalen Green goes to the Rockets with pick 2. Evan Mobley, big man, goes to Cleveland with pick 3. It's strange because they just re-signed their big center for big money as well. I'll just got the deal here. So Jarrett Allen is getting $100 million for 5 years, which is
good money.
Obscene money. Like he's not a bad big man, but it's definitely far from elite. So kind of strange that they draft a big man and then pay their big man. But
yeah,
maybe they both play. One plays the 4 and one plays the 5. Scotty Barnes goes to the Raptors with pick 4, and Jalen Suggs, who was really good for Gonzaga this year, he goes to the Magic, and that rounds out the top 6 with Aussie Josh Giddey going 6th. You see, Steph became the first NBA player ever to get 2 deals worth over $200 million. Not 1,
absolutely crazy,
but 2.
Worth it.
Yeah.
You'd probably say it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Lonzo Ball leaving the Pelicans to go join the Bulls. I think we covered that.
Yep.
We already.
I think we mentioned it in passing.
Mike Conley getting big money to re-sign at Utah. He's agreed to a 3-year, $72 million deal there. And shout out to Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson, not an elite guy, like a really nice shooter and played pretty well in the back end of this season. The man got paid 5 years, $90 million for Duncan Robinson. And joining him is Kyle Lowry from Toronto.
Yep.
So, the heat going in the right direction there, you'd imagine. I think that's the most of our... Oh, Trae Young.
Got a max deal.
It's different for him because he's
a rookie, so he gets a rookie max deal. So
but he's a second year, yeah.
But
so he can't get them. He can't get like a $200 million deal.
Well, this is a $200 million deal for a rookie. So it's a max rookie deal. So they limit that. So I can't remember if it's like 4 or 5 years, and it's the 200 mil. But then
that's what everyone else gets.
But you can get
on their max deals.
You can get that. Well, I think the max deal when it's not rookie deal is like another 50 mil on top of that.
Are you sure? Because Steph is re-signed for $215 for 5 years, and I think that's as much as they're allowed to pay him.
Yeah.
So
I think his is less. Like I thought Trae was like
5 years, 207.
207. Yeah. So you save yourself slightly a bit more money being a rookie max deal, but yeah,
not too much difference is there. Good on him, and the way that he played in these playoffs, the man deserves
something to build around
to get that
forward.
back, doesn't he? Yeah, big
So
time.
he's also been able to include an early termination option.
Who's this?
In the fourth
Young?
year. Young, yeah. So he can pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah, well,
Nice Trae.
They still stink, and he's just like, well, I'm going elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry. If they can't win a championship,
If they didn't win, they stink.
Sorry, no. Yeah, I agree with you. So, if they can't make it, and whether he wants to do a super team or whether he hangs around like Giannis did, and they try to do it the hard way. Yeah, but they got to go for the LeBron Lakers and then the Durant Nets. So.
No, it's the Mills Nets.
Mills Nets, yeah, the Patty Nets.
That's right.
Yeah.
What happened in the UFC? Nunes got the cocoa.
Not too much. Yeah, that was the big news. UFC 265, which I think
It's meant to be next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sometime in August from memory.
Not this one, next one?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I think the heavyweight interim title fight then takes the leaders.
Fake fight.
The fake fight. Yeah, it takes the leaders.
So fake.
As the...
That's this weekend.
This weekend? Early August?
August 8, yeah, this
Okay.
one. Fucking it's all happening at the moment.
Yeah. So what's the main on that, Marks?
So we got Derek Lewis and Cyril Gain.
That is it. For the interim, that's the main one. Nunes fight, of course, off. They're trying to reschedule that to the rate of the year. She got the cocoa, unfortunately.
Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz, bantamweight co-main. Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque going at it.
Some solid fights. But
Solid. It's not like the last.
They're not superstars you tune in for.
It's no Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is also
Yeah,
a massive name. But
losing Nunes and not adding anything is that's a big loss. Yeah.
she's the undeniable GOAT, isn't she, of female
Yep.
MMA.
Yeah,
it's not even a question.
She's beaten everyone else. We talked about how Bullet could potentially compete against her, but she's lost twice now to her.
Yeah.
Holds
2 belts.
Yeah. And, for Valentino to come up a weight division to get to Nunes' lower weight division, she's still giving away a lot of weight. So
Impossible.
at this stage, there's no one even close.
What's our thoughts in the Derek Lewis-Cyril Gain fight? Lewis obviously has a few losses, but highly ranked, and Gain...
Yeah. This is the meme, the joke that's been doing the rounds of social media. Gain is a better fighter absolutely everywhere. So Lewis by a 2nd or 3rd round knockout.
And how do you figure that?
That's just because that's heavyweight. That's just how it goes. Like, you'll be beat pillar to post, and then whatever, you just throw one of those big punches, and then Gain will eat it, and then it'll go down. So
it's so scary, man. They're so scary, the power that they possess.
Yeah. If you're going to pick someone, Gain would be the favourite. Purely,
Really?
Purely from a talent aspect.
Look at the odds.
He's coming up. Derek is not as good as a fighter as.
Derek's got a wealth of experience, though.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, you're right. And he's rank outside at $3.70.
So, yes, Gaines, favourite, $1.25 by knockout round 1, $6.50. The lowest. Lowest you can go, yeah.
This doesn't go the distance. Let's
Nah.
be honest.
I think that, agree. They're probably trying to build gain up, trying to make that whoever the next fight is against Ngannou with the game makes sense. Stipe, of course, is still angling for the rematch.
John Jones.
And there's John Jones floating around. He's been recently on Twitter all about social media, all about the Bones in 2022. So I think he's getting himself ready for that heavyweight push.
I think Bones is chasing some bones too.
Oh, big time.
A little bit.
A lot of bags.
So do you reckon there would be a quick turnaround after this fight for Ngannou to be able to take that belt back? Or
Well, you gotta give.
I think Ngannou's almost ready.
You got to give these blokes 3 months. You'd think after this, it's just. I love the UFC, but it's such a blatant money grab by them, isn't it?
Well, they 100% need it now because there's no Nunes.
No, and we talk about how weak this card is in general.
If Nunes had fallen off their card and then they'd bumped this up and said, hey, it's now an interim title fight, you're trying to then, oh, cool, I understand you're now trying to sell that card.
Yeah.
Versus where you are at the moment, whereas I don't think you need to sell this fight.
But they didn't have to.
To do it that way.
It doesn't have to be an interim belt.
Line.
Yeah, it's just, it's cheesy, man. Yeah. Come on, Dana, you're better than that. You are, and I'm sure you're listening too.
Yeah.
F1.
That's where the UFC is at the moment. We'll see what the kind of results in that. It's not a card that I'm overly excited for. And then the next pay-per-view is not till September. So there's big kind of gap at the moment.
And that's Volk Ortega.
We've got Cannonier and Gastelum with a fight night towards the end of August, and then it's not till UFC 266.
I saw Rockhold signed on to fight someone today. Oh, that Strickland bloke, the Pommy that won last weekend in the fight night.
Right.
They beat Uriah Hall, so he's got a quick kind of turnaround.
Rockhold must be getting on.
Yeah, and he's got one of the guys like an up and comer in the middleweight division. For Strickland, I think it's a name fight for him.
Okay.
Get a guy like Luke Rockhold, get your name out there. He jokingly said, like, for the right money, I'd fight Francis Ngannou. I'll get knocked out, but I fight him.
Right But did
Crazy
you die?
but did you die? Yeah, 100%. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's great. I love it. But anyway.
A point in this basketball game. France leads Slovenia.
30 seconds.
32 seconds
France with
left.
the ball.
Wow.
Let's just watch it. They need a big turnover. So France has got the ball.
Well, no, they just needed to miss this shot.
Yeah, well,
got to play defense.
Yes, to get the ball back. 3-pointer. Oh, got the rebound.
Got the rebound.
Luka.
Slovenia's got the shot. Let's be honest, Luka. It's gonna be
100% Luka. They're gonna set him up.
Luka to take it.
3-point shot, or you think he tries to get in close?
No, you got to go 2. I would think
Just to get
6
the win.
seconds.
The dishes
He
it
dished
off.
it. Oh, he got blocked. Oh,
Yeah, there you
God.
go.
Huge block.
Oh,
block.
wow. So France go through to play the US, who they did beat in the group stages, and Slovenia bow out from a block shot. Who got that block?
Big time.
Who was that?
Because he was driving deep to the hole.
Was it DiColo?
Was it Luka driving? Because I think he dished it off.
No, he dished it, man.
Yeah,
he dished it. He
Man.
dished it. Wow, we're watching this on a quarter screen.
Yeah.
So
do you think if you're trying to set that up as a coach, do you have Luka dish that off, or you just like take whatever shot you've got?
It. Well, he wasn't getting a double team either. He wasn't getting the double team.
Did he get inside the 3-point shoot range? Man,
Well,
let's hope they re-show that last.
but I think you got to try. You got to try and take a safe shot. Like you only need the 2 points there.
Well, take a drive and then just a step back, 10-footer.
Oh, they go to ads. Fuck you, Channel 7.
Well, Marks, you can just rerun that if you want. Oh no, you can't do that on this.
Fred, anything mainstream media, you guys, you gotta learn.
Down the bottom,
it's fucking garbage.
Basketball there.
Look, this podcast isn't pristine. Let's be honest, just yet. maybe one day. But
you don't get stupid Qantas ads in the middle of our On The Esky podcast.
Oh.
Hopefully.
No,
Here we go. No, that's the Luke is not happy, but yeah, go bad. Good sportsmanship there.
Yeah, right. So
Was it go bad? They got the block. He's an excellent defender, so it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think it was him. I really don't think that was him. It happened so quick. Fuck, it happened quick. Luca's head down. He's not too happy. Excellent effort. You know how many people live in Slovenia? It's like
2 million.
2 million. Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Absolute bananas.
Was it Nicholas Batum that got the block? Any fucking replays?
Yeah. For the show us aftermath of the murder.
Can you wind it back or no?
On this one? No, I don't think you
No,
can.
it's live. Anyway.
It's live.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? The
Well,
F1?
we're just finishing up on the UFC. I'm about to head into the F1. You can just leave that there. See if we get a replay on that in a second. I'll set a bit of context for us kind of coming into the Hungarian race. There's a bit of back and forth on social media between Max and Lewis, of course, and their relationship. Yeah. A lot of people saying it's probably in a bit of a bad space. Of course, they're heavy competitors racing for different teams.
And racing for the championship.
That too. So, a bit of back and forth on Twitter. I'm right at the moment. But then during practices and during qualifying, there's footage of them fist bumping each other as they pass like they've been civil. Yeah. They just like to race hard. I think they're really super fucking competitive. You don't get to that point without being really, really competitive.
That's it.
There's only 20 blokes that race in F1 and the pinnacle of motorsport. Like, it's really hard to get to that point. So that was coming into the race. The race itself. Monks, did you catch the start of this, and what were your thoughts?
I did catch the start. Crazy.
Do you want to grab us some highlights as well, just to kind of show
this was how carnage? Me as the casual F1 fan here, I didn't see it live, but then watch the highlights the next day. Was this close to the first turn?
It was the
first turn off the start. Yeah,
off the first turn.
Yeah. So there had been a bit of rain leading up to it, so they started the race all on inters, and then started the race. They all get going. The big problem was, let's start with Bottas. Terrible start. He spins the wheels. Monks will get this going in a second. He spins the wheels on the start.
Hang on.
No, I've got the completely wrong race there. No, that's right. No, so it's still a bit of wet.
Not bad.
Yeah, sorry. It was too sunny. It was too sunny for a second.
So I mean, it was drying up. So
this is
formation lap.
Carnage.
Yeah, formation lap. They're not meant to talk back and forth between their pit crew at the time, but during the formation lap, they had to see how wet it was. Still wet. You can see them kicking up water, so they stayed on inters. But the start, Bottas has a terrible start. Gets stuck behind Lando.
So I think he had wheel spin off the line, so he just got caught out.
And then just could not pull the car and brake at all.
Oh, my God.
Runs straight into Lando, who's running pretty well in the championship at the moment. Puts Lando into
puts him into Max first.
And then Bottas then goes through and hits Perez.
That's it,
Takes Perez out of the race, takes Bottas himself out of the race, takes Lando out of the race. Verstappen loses his main barge board. So on one side of his car, like the whole aero on that side of the car is missing. It's gone.
Yeah.
They showed photos of it, and it's like crazy that he even continued racing well enough to keep going with that much aero missing from his car.
Well, I reckon that was equivalent to like 1 second a lap.
Yeah. So the other one was Lance Stroll, came through a bit hot and tried to dive kind of out of the way. And in doing so, takes out Leclerc on the side, and that's Leclerc there. So
and then Leclerc then spins Ricciardo as well.
So how many people?
It's Lando. It's Alonso. So Alonso, no, it was Ocon. You were right, Monks.
Yeah.
How many drivers got?
So we lost 5
for the whole race.
4. Yeah, they're gone out of the race. Bottas.
This was just off this first turn.
Bottas, Lando,
right?
Stroll and Leclerc all out at the start. Mazepin, he went out in the pits for when they did the restart.
Yeah, Raikkonen I think got released too
early. He hit Mazepin and broke his front steering. But what was interesting, so straight after that, they red flagged the race. There's crap everywhere. Then they go into the pits. They make the changes. They fix the cars as best they can in that process.
So
interesting that no one changes tires, because on the red flag you can change tires. No one did. They all stayed on inters.
Yeah,
they went out for the restart on the formation lap, and by that point they'd realised it it all dried up. Like
So-
it was a nice dry race.
I think it was still like, I mean, you don't know, so you don't know how long it's going to be red flagged for. So it was about 20
I'm
minutes.
surprised no team didn't wait for
Red
the
Bull.
last like 2 minutes, and they're like, it's a bit sunny. The track's looking good. Let's just whack these on and hope for the best.
Well, I mean,
because they would have been right behind Hamilton, and they would have been out in front with a 20-second lead at that point.
True, but I mean, you wouldn't really know what the whole track looks like. So you'd probably be, I think, so I guess going back to Verstappen, so they had 20 minutes to completely do as much as they could to fix it
They're
up.
too busy fixing aero to worry about tyres.
Yeah, that's it. So as you mentioned before, on the formation lap, the driver can't talk to the team. So
they have to make a decision, essentially.
yeah, so I'm assuming you wouldn't risk it. You'd rather stay on inters just in case there is a bit of water.
So that's what Hamilton did as a leader. He didn't want to risk it. But then the two guys behind him, which was Ocon and wasn't Alonso, Ocon and Vettel, with I think the two direct. They both dive in to get tyres.
Yeah, well, it was really all based off what Ocon was doing. So
yeah, well,
whatever
second went in, third went in, fourth went, and then the whole field's
The
like,
whole
well, if they're
field
all going in, we'll go in as well. So they all go in, change tyres. Hamilton's the only one that stays out for the restart. He's just one car.
just one car,
on the start line. They restart the race. He takes off, and then once he gets past the pit lane, then they all take off.
Yeah.
So that's Mazepin
What
breaking
was
his
also-
front tyre.
Yeah, what was also pretty funny. Illegal at the time, but it didn't really affect anything. But so Ocon pulled in, the whole field pulled in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Russell,
Where their pit box is, gave them a slight advantage to get through. He got through,
That's
got pit his tyres quickly, and then actually made up like 7 places, I think, in the process.
So at the start of the race, he was running second to Hamilton. But then within that lap, he had to give back.
Yeah,
to, like,
they told him,
those
give
seven
away.
places.
That was a bit sneaky. You need to give those places back. But so, Bottas takes out, damages the main competitor for Lewis, takes out the other teammate of that competitor, takes out the leading McLaren car, and then Stroll does a solo and takes out one of the leading Ferraris as well. Completely flips the race on head with Lewis going out, starting on Inters by himself, and then realising this is a bad idea, had to pit and then is last. So he goes all the way back into last.
So gave up at least 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah. So at this point, Max is behind Ricciardo, and that's where he'd stay. He couldn't take over Ricciardo. And Hamilton got to the back of those guys and then couldn't take them over. But it's Mercedes' great pit strategy. This essentially race came down to a pit strategy for them. They went to his two-stopper. They brought him in. He did the undercut, fresh tyres, got those two over. And then he started working his way up the field. He progressed far enough ahead, pitted again the second time for fresh tyres, came out 5th. So he's got to take 4 cars over. Big problem from him, number 4 car, Alonso. Alonso being Ocon's teammate, AlphaTauri. Not AlphaTauri. Yeah, Alpine.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew it started with an A. Alpine. Essentially, excellent job blocking out Hamilton for, what was it, like 5 or 6 laps. He made multiple attempts. Great teamwork. Hold him up. There's some of it here. So,
throughout the whole week after the race, everyone was sort of reminiscent of.
But it was like wheel to wheel, like they're diving deep into corners, and then Alonso comes and cuts him off. It was great racing, great defending work. Because he needed to do it. He did this lap after lap, and this turn 4 was a crazy one to keep trying to do.
Goodness.
Yeah, and just again, Alonso, he had his birthday during the week, 41, I think.
Really? It's still going.
Yeah, still going back in it. But the time he held off and held Hamilton behind, Hamilton caught up to Vettel. It was under a second when they finished the race, and he was second. The amount of time that Alonso held up Hamilton essentially guaranteed Ocon the win because Hamilton would have caught both of them on his pace. As soon as he got free, he was really, really quick and was catching them. So
actually, back on Alonso as well. So after the race, Hamilton posted on Instagram like a little congratulation to Alonso, saying, "I love this wheel-to-wheel racing sort of thing." A little bit of a dig to Red Bull and Max Verstappen in regards to what's been happening the last couple of weeks. So it'd be interesting to see what the fallout is of that.
Yeah. But it was
great battle.
That was all they showed for those 5 laps, was just the two of them just going around at those corners and fighting. You know, there's a little bit fight there from the Ferrari and Sainz, but he just wasn't quick enough, and Hamilton gets through him quite easily. So Ocon wins. Great job for
his first, wasn't it?
Yeah, first for him. First for Alpine, I think, as well. They've only just come back in. You know, great team win as well with Alonso helping hold it off, and I think he finished 5th in the end. But Vettel
Fourth. Because Vettel got
So the Vettel, that was he pushed really, really hard to get Ocon. Stayed constantly a second behind him, but just could not get him. And I think it ended up costing him because they need to provide a litre of fuel to the FIA at the end of the race so they can confirm probably the quality of the fuel, that they haven't, you know, put a bit of extra race fuel or a bit of extra octane or whatever, a little bit of extra something in there.
That's so strange at the end of the race.
Yeah, well, they want to. They want to check it to make sure it's what you've, because you fill it up, because you don't fill up during the race. So
it's like you piss running hot
exactly. Are they running hot? That's what the question is.
My understanding is you can do it at any time during the race weekend. So what happened with Hamilton, and it happened with both Williams as well.
Yep.
After they finished the race, rather than coming into pit lane, they stopped their cars on the track.
Yes.
Or off the side of the track.
Probably what Vettel should have done. But I think at that point, he might have already been.
Vettel did it as well.
Yeah,
so I think that's what sort of triggered us. Like the HIA was like, all right, you guys are stopped on the track.
We need to check this out.
We need to check it out.
Yeah. The problem for Vettel was they needed a litre, and they could only pump out 300 mils of fuel out of his car.
Yeah.
So which is fuck all. And you know, like they scrape the barrel, try to get as much fuel, like every last drop. They could not get enough for them to run a substantial test on the fuel to make sure it was up to standard of what the regulations are, which means he was disqualified. So
that's when he comes second.
Yeah, hard, especially for Aston Martin as well, with the, you know, how they've only had 1 second, I think, this year as well with Vettel, and when they won after not won, well, they finished second after Hamilton and Verstappen had all their goings in that race. But yeah, huge loss for them, especially with Stroll missing out too. They get no points. It does bump everyone else up, bumps Lewis up to second. I think Max, was he 9th and finished 8th, or was he 10th and finished 9th? I might have to double check. So
finished 9th.
So moves him up 1 spot. Ricciardo was behind him.
11th.
Yeah, didn't get any points for him, unfortunately. But yeah, massive loss. Huge gain from Mercedes.
Yep.
So I think they're now 8 points in front on the champ. Well, Lewis is 8 points in front, I think, of Max. Kind of flipped that script again. And for championship wise, I think they're very, very, very close between the two construction championships.
Yep. So interestingly enough, so Aston Martin has a case, so they're pretty adamant that they do have that 1 litre of fuel in the car.
Interesting.
Their explanation is that one of the pumps that they use to pump the fuel out for this test is broken. And there's regulations around how you can't, to get the fuel out for these tests, you can't pull apart
you can't pull
the bodywork, you can't pull the fuel cell out to drain it. So they're leading into the summer break now, so Aston Martin are looking at what are their options are to surrendering the car to the FIA. They send it straight to FIA headquarters,
tip it over a little bit, shake it out.
And they let the HIA just do all their tests and pull out the fuel however they want. So there is a slim chance that Vettel might get that second place back.
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see what, I guess, Aston Martin's options are moving forward.
Yeah.
And potentially, making those spots back.
Yeah, well, that'll be huge for the championship. Push Lewis back down a place, like because there's a substantial difference between 9 and 10. I think you gain only a point, whereas
1 point,
between 2 and 3, it's 7. So
is that many?
Yeah, so I think the difference for the Hamilton Verstappen Stappen gap kind of brings that closer. So yeah, that's really interesting. The other really cool thing, both Williams cars scored points, which I think is George Russell's first points in a Williams car?
Oh, both. So
Both,
this
but
is first points scored ever for well, not ever, but in the last couple of years, first point scored by Williams.
Yeah.
So Latifi did get, was he 8th? He must have been 8th.
Yeah, he was one spot ahead of
seventh.
He was
Russell
one spot.
was 8th.
Yeah, one spot ahead of Russell. It was really interesting. Russell kind of early in the race said, because Latifi was ahead of him, I think he was 5th at that point, was like, hey, if you got to sacrifice my race to help Latifi, let's do it. Because he knew, like, hey, if I miss out on points, let's get point. We want points for Williams. And he did an interview afterwards, and he had tears, like he was that happy.
It meant that much. Yeah.
It meant that much to them that, hey, we actually scored points for Williams. We've been
all that hard work.
Yeah, we've been here for ages, and like we've finally succeeded.
Yeah,
and that pitch was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that formation lap.
The reformation lap where they all switch from inters to slicks. There's so many cars and cars flying in and out.
Yeah.
They don't regularly have 19 cars all pit at the exact same time and try to get them in and release them at the same time.
That's it.
And especially when they do pit stops at like 2 seconds. Like they come in, they whack tires on, and they go out. Like it's
just a freak occurrence that it all kind of happened?
Oh, that, yeah. It's purely because all the cars kind of realize, like, oh, the track is dry, we can go on slick tires. And the slick tires are probably 2 seconds faster than the inters are. Which is a huge get. Like Hamilton and Inters, they were catching up to him already on the first lap.
When you say Inters for a casual fan like me,
intermediates. So it's not full wet tires. It's not full slicks. It's kind of in the middle. So it has some ribbing on it, grooves on it, to dispel the water. Whereas full wets is like it's full. It looks like your normal
like a road car tire.
It looks like your normal road car tire. And in an F1 car in a dry race, they tear through them like anything. They just melt the rubber off them. So they really need the slicks on them.
Yeah. So the whole reason for that, I guess, the grooves in it is to dispel the water. So to stop so if you're obviously on slicks, your wheel's just going to keep on spinning. Whereas with full wets and inters, it sort of helps push the water out from underneath the tire, right? So you get some good contact against.
I got to say, this battle with him, Hamilton and Alonso, was absolutely electric. Just going in and out of these corners, and that's what we want to watch racing week in and week out. So it'll be interesting to see with the changes next year whether you get more of this. Because really, in this race, there was only 3 corners at the start of the lap, the start of the track that they could actually make an attack on.
It's really,
otherwise,
really
it's just follow. It's really hard to follow. Otherwise, either you can't stay right on his bumper throughout the entire thing. So
that's it. Yeah. So I mean, on next season, so all the teams have been and are continuing this week to test the new wheels, so the new 18-inch rims. So they're testing them out at the moment. I guess obviously heading into summer break. Just watching that crash again.
That's nuts.
Yeah, like he's full on the brakes and the car just doesn't stop because it's just slide at that point.
Yeah. So apparently there was also a tailwind on this straight, which
what probably blew all the rain away too. So
yeah, so with the tailwind, it just completely stuffed up the aero. So he had no, I guess, downforce on his rear wheels. So
I wonder if they'll show Alcon's perspective in here. Like for this lap, from his perspective, the six to 7 cars in front of him all just get washed off the track, and it just opens up for him to go through and take the lead. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Sorry if I go back with this one.
It might be.
So you do see.
Yeah, I can see. See, that's Ocon there, isn't it? Yeah.
No, in front. So just at the top of the screen.
Oh, so he comes across. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the right hand side of the track, like behind. Probably a couple cars behind.
Unfortunately, that was Danny getting span around there too.
That Stroll run up?
Yeah.
So that's scary, man. That wheel went close to the.
Right, can you roll that back, Marcus, to a? Keep going.
So you got at the top of the screen on the far right, you've got Ocon. He drifts across in front of Stroll. So Stroll sees like the right hand side. He goes for a gap that's not there.
He just tries to dive out of the way and then hits the grass and is like, there's nothing.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just, absolute carnage on that first corner.
Well, he hit 2 other cars going through there as well. They both hit his front wheel. Yeah.
Mad race.
Oh, boy. 20 cars into one corner.
Yeah.
Usually got to be pretty clean and add a bit of water and just makes it a bit tough. But I think there's a month now between now and the next race.
Holiday.
Yep, summer break.
Where do they go after that?
That's a great question.
Watch this. This is Lando. So he's coming in and he's like, I'm doing all right. I'll just brake here. And then he gets shunted and he's like, uh-oh, bang. Actually, he hits Perez.
Oh, man.
So then Bottas must hit Verstappen. Man. Just torches car and you see like grinding along the ground there.
It's doing pretty well considering that contact.
Yeah.
Well, I think that out of that crash from Hamilton and Max last week, Red Bull I think said it was like 1.8 or 1.7 million dollars worth of damage they had to spend and trying to fix that car.
That's
Crazy money.
Yeah.
And that's like with parts they've already pre-made and got shit ready just to put on, like the work they had to do to rebuild that car essentially.
That's it. Yeah. So they got summer break now. Next round 12 in Belgium starts on the 27th. Runs through the 29th of August.
When's the next sprint race? Is that?
That will be Monza. So
Monza, that's right.
That looks like it's potentially 10th of September, that race weekend. I think that's the only race in Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, second because they've already been in Italy, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Still a lot of dates left, isn't there?
Oh, we're at half point of the season.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
So I think they've 11 with 12 races to go.
Yep, something like that.
Something like that. So
yeah, it's hotly contested at the moment. So we thought Max was taking a huge lead, and would anyone catch him? The curse, and then Lewis has done pretty well back to back to kind of get back into that frame.
It is a 2-horse race, so let's be honest.
Yeah, well, the teams are trying to put them up in front. Like maybe we keep talking about Lando, but McLaren know they're fighting Ferrari at this point. So I don't. They're happy to take a backward seat to those other two teams. So it'll be those two. So is this? No, this is Alonso. So again, Alonso, super successful cars, is coming across, and he's just like, oh,
fucking carnage.
Yeah, I'll just take this.
Yeah,
you
just got to pick your gap and hope for the best.
Yeah, I want to see if they show the Ocon one where he just comes flying through. Because it's just showing all the point of views.
I reckon Ocon might have been before.
No, they didn't I haven't done Ocon yet. I've been watching it.
I don't know. I think
here we go. Yeah, that looks like so he comes down here.
So he sees this massive gap in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so he sees this coming down here, and then Stroll comes down here, takes them all out, and then he just turns around and there's no cars. This is like that's just right,
open up for him.
Yeah. He's right behind Hamilton, of course, but then Hamilton stays out. Like it's quite a good thing Hamilton was in front because he has to make the decisions on the inters, and he has more risk if he comes off the inters if it's still wet.
Yeah.
So he stays out, of course. But everyone else changes. He takes the lead and then leads the rest of the entire race. Wins.
I wonder if that's what it was. Just before they went out, it's like just do opposite to whatever Hamilton does.
Could very well. They went out like the track was 100% dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Lewis was probably like, hey, if I'm the only one that goes in and everyone stays out, well then I'm last anyway.
Yeah.
So he had the most to lose. So as the most risk averse, so it's like, hey, we'll stay out.
It's like if you're leading a footy tipping competition, you want to tip favourites.
Yes.
And then everyone behind is going to take a punt. And go a few roughies.
Take the safe bet. But
seriously?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is crazy because everyone took the punt. Like the entire field took the punt. And Lewis is probably looking in his mirror like, where the fuck did everyone else go? I'm the only one out here.
Jeremy Clarkson during the week or during the race probably even on Twitter made a comment. Everyone pitted just so that Hamilton didn't hit anyone on the first corner again.
Funny. He's been listening to the Esky.
He has.
Well, Bottas, that was the jokes as well. Bottas, he did his team job. He took out all the main competitors to Hamilton to make it easy for him to go through.
Kamikaze.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's not what you want to see. You want a good, clean racing. You don't want crashes.
Sure. Yeah. You want to see the wheel-to-wheel racing, but
it's also a spectacle.
It is.
Like me as a
couple of good
guy
crashes.
That doesn't really follow it at that intently, and I see that and I go, wow, this is pretty fucking wild, man.
Oh yeah, it's big time.
Yeah.
Especially if they're all flying in that corner doing like 200 k's an hour.
In the wet.
And you can't really say that Bottas was at Like he intentionally did that.
No,
He's at
no.
fault, but
He's at fault, but you can see his car. He's slow off the start. His car, he can't stop the car, and it's just sliding. He's a passenger, so
Yeah, he had a shit start, and he was just trying too hard to dive into that corner, hopefully make up a position. He lost, and just
lost the car. Took out Lando. Stroll, same thing.
yeah.
Didn't brake early enough. At least he tried to dive to the outside, but still not far enough. Hit the grass and then
to
his
the
car.
inside. That's completely wrong.
Yeah, drive
place
to the inside and a possible gap. Put it on the grass, but then that slid straight into Leclerc. But otherwise, it was a pretty interesting race in Hungary. When's the next race? Monza in a month.
No, Belgium.
Belgium.
Monza's the sprint
At
race.
the end of
Yeah,
this
sorry.
one. Yep.
Yep. So a few weeks off.
So probably
3 weeks off.
Yes, probably won't be listening in on any riveting F1 news in the next couple of weeks, but we'll get straight back into it as soon as we get to that race weekend in Belgium.
Definitely.
That'll wrap up our show. For,
Yes.
That'll
That'll be on the Esky for this week.
Yeah.
Get us a cricket score, Max, before we finish up. Have they come back from lunch?
They should be.
They
should
looks like the Olympics is not doing overly too much at the moment.
Well, it's probably wrapped up for the night.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. After that 400.
What do we got? Ooh, there's a bit of movement there.
Was that Rahani? That means there's another one down. No, it's
Rahul.
Rahul. Don't mind me. They must still be having lunch, unless it's raining in fucking England.
That is also the problem. No,
they're
four.
Oh,
Fuck
four.
me.
Holy crap.
Check this out.
Rahul.
Golden
duck
for
food.
Virat.
There you
Oh
go.
my
Golden.
goodness.
Ugh.
That is not
Oh wow.
just when we thought.
Jimmy Anderson gets Pujara and Kohli early, and then a run out for Rahane.
Man, that's
Game on, boys.
That's gonna
We
be
thought
unlucky.
183 wasn't too
Mark,
great, but
Can you
412. They're still slightly on top, but
make
the
KO
game has
make KO
swung.
full screen?
The game has swung.
It'll show you where the wickets are in the thing. You can go back, see the W's, there wickets. So
Shout
go
out
watch
to
the watch.
KO. Maybe we need to stop shouting out Sportsbet to be our unofficial sponsor.
Yeah,
Start shouting out
big
KO.
time. Go to we'll start the first one. We'll work our way through it. We'll finish with this. I guess we don't need to watch the first one. Is that the?
That's it.
That's just
That's just a-
so the next ball must be the run out. So you can probably skip 15. So we're here we go. Just sweeps at that straight down his throat. Yeah.
yeah.
Go the one next to it. One next to it's the other one. No, too far. Can't you see the one behind it? There you go.
Big ones, yeah.
There you go.
All right, so this is Jimmy Anderson bowling, and
There's a bit of
it's moving
off the seam.
off the
yeah.
seam heaps. So this must be him getting Pujara.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a fucking seed.
Yeah.
That is a dude. Good luck.
That's Jimmy Anderson.
Good luck playing that. That for the line of that ball that's going top and middle, and then that has just jagged back and grabs. Oh, dude.
Just a little bit, just a touch.
No one plays that. No. That's a seed.
Yeah, that's a great ball.
So Jimmy gets Pujara with a great ball, and let's look at this Kohli ball.
Yeah, let's see what Kohli got.
and see what happens here for the Golden Quacker.
Comes out.
So his average is down to a measly 52. I'm pretty sure
His average in
he
England.
was up at like 57 before this form slump. First ball. He didn't need to play that.
No, just let that one through.
He did not need to play
He
that.
knows it too.
Yeah, he could have left that. He could have left that.
Big time.
Almost identical.
No,
Well,
not quite. Not quite.
That wasn't a peach. That was that's a foot outside.
Anderson
Just
could have left that. Kohli could have left that ball from Anderson.
yeah, big time.
Wow,
He knows it
Golden
too.
Quacker. Yeah, he knows. He wants.
Watch it. Like this
He wants to be
lands.
affirmative.
Yeah, this lands a foot outside.
He doesn't need to be poking at that.
Nah, let that through.
That's huge.
Root knows it as well. That's a
Yeah.
big turn.
And game on. How good? Well,
Wow.
And the last one, what's the run out?
Rahane ran out for 5. Only faced 5 balls, and it's Rahul on strike.
So Pant's in now, isn't he?
Punt, yes. Punt is in.
Let's see what this is. Where we go? Just a small
Quick one. Oh,
sends him back.
no, send him-
That's a good throw. That's a good throw.
Well, that's
Left him stranded.
that's Rahul's call all day. That's in front. That's his call. That's Rahane backing up way too much. You shouldn't be getting run out like that. To be honest, that's a soft dismissal.
I think the way he picked that threw it up, I don't think Rahani's getting down the other end.
No, but
Rahul's getting down the other end anyway.
No, but that's Rahul's call.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
But Oh, yes.
Why is Rahane calling this through?
Yeah.
That's in front of him. He might have given him the old yes, no.
He probably went too hard. That was a good throw and it nicked the bails.
Great throw. Dan Lawrence.
Hey, to get back in the game, you need those kind. They started well, India, but now...
Game's back in the balance.
Yeah, what was...
They trail by 70-odd.
Well, what's the current score, Max? Go live for us.
Yeah,
not much would have happened since then. That was only a few minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah, still 112 for 4 for 112.
Yeah, 4 for 112, maybe with a 1 or 2, 115 for 12.
There
for
you go.
4. India, England, straight back into this game on India. Like they've get through one of these guys and you're into the bottom order. So, man.
And that will
end on the Esky. There you
wrap
go.
up this week of On The Esky.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for anyone that has made it through this far.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Leave us a comment about anything we've talked about and you want to talk more or ask questions. Or if we fucked it up, which we probably did.
I'm sure there's a few.
Please let us know.
10 hottest male Olympians.
We'll get stuck on
for
it.
next week. Yep.
Yeah. If there's one comment, I'll do the list.
There you go.
We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, boys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.